My beloved child, stop running. Stop scrolling, surging, striving. Pause. Not because I'm coming, I already came. I am not a distant echo that needs your perfection or performance to be summoned. I am the whisper that met you before you even knew to listen. You've been asking when I'll show up, wondering why I felt far, aching for the way you used to feel me, or perhaps wondering if you ever have. Listen, I am already here. I am not preparing to arrive or pacing outside your door. I have entered your room, your moment, without fanfare, without announcement. When I come close, I don't startle. I settle. I didn't wait for your schedule to clear or your mood to lift. I came because your spirit, even under its weariness, called out for me. I am not bound by your emotions, your energy, or your circumstances. My presence does not flinch at confusion or chaos. It draws near precisely when everything else feels far away. That tightness in your chest, that pause that caught you mid-breath, that silence that felt too heavy to ignore, that's me. That's my nearness. I didn't come to be observed, I came to be received. You've been waiting like I'm behind a curtain, but I've been in the silence, closer than a breath, waiting for you to notice. Child, I stood beside you while your soul quietly unraveled behind your careful composure. I watched your hands carry the weight others never see, your mind race with thoughts no one else hears. I chose this moment to draw near in a way you can't deny. I'm not brushing past. I'm not here for a passing visit. I made this moment sacred. Not for what you did, but because of who you are to me. Every tick of the clock, every shadow on your wall, every breath in this still room, it's all been charged with my glory. Heaven didn't send a messenger. I came myself because your pain needed my personal touch. Your questions deserve my undivided attention. You don't have to perform. You don't need to get it together before I stay. I'm here not as a guest, but as the one who has always been. Let your heart stop bracing. I am the I am, nearer than your next heartbeat. I stand beside you and I will not leave, even if you try to walk away. I interrupt your ordinary with my presence, so be still. The room you're in is now holy ground. I see you. I see how you've pushed past the ache, breathed through the pressure, numbed the tension that won't let go. But what if the weight you're trying to escape isn't an enemy, but an echo? What if the hush you mistake for emptiness is actually the holiness of my approach? That pressure pressing down on your chest, that sudden silence in the middle of chaos, it's not fear, failure, or a flaw in your faith. It's awareness. It's the trembling recognition of my nearness. Heaven doesn't always shout. Sometimes it presses in like a whisper so weighty it silences everything else. You've been trained to read discomfort as danger, but in my kingdom, that discomfort can be a doorway to deliverance. I'm not causing panic, I'm causing your spirit to perceive. This isn't anxiety, it's awakening. Something ancient and eternal is brushing the edges of your life and refusing to be ignored. You've labeled my presence as pressure because your heart is not used to hosting the weight of glory. I didn't send heaviness to break you. I sent it to brace you. I'm anchoring you deeper than before. Not because you're lost, but because you're being found. Your spirit is groaning for alignment. What you call tension is me calling every fractured part of you into oneness. You thought you were falling apart. You were falling into place. When you sit in stillness and your soul shifts without explanation, that's my hand turning the unseen knobs of your destiny. The tightness in your chest, the nameless tears, the heaviness you can't explain, they're not signs of defeat, they're signals of awakening. I didn't call your mind to master this moment. I called your heart to host it. Stop demonizing your sensitivity. See your soft heart not as a liability, but as your instrument of connection with me. What you call fragility, I call frequency. You're tuned in. That ache confirms your spirit still knows how to hear me. You walked through crowds, smiled through sermons, stood where others seemed fine, and still felt something pull at your core. That wasn't imagination. It was the gravity of my gaze, drawing you beneath the noise. Beneath numbness and survival, I didn't want you to miss this moment by mistaking it for ordinary stress. I wrapped it in stillness, marked it with mystery, and now I'm decoding it for you. It's me. I am the hush that stopped your scrolling, the pressure that made your heart beat differently, the interruption your soul has been starving for. You didn't stumble here, you were summoned. I come not with condemnation, but with consecration. This weight you feel is the weight of being seen, fully and finally. Now breathe, not the shallow kind that barely touches your ribs, but the kind that reaches your soul. The air in the room has changed. It's charged with my presence. I cleared the spiritual static and filled this space with something sacred. Me. You're not suffocating, you're awakening. You're not drowning, you're descending into depths others avoid. Let the weight rest on you as a mantle, not a burden. Let the hush hold you as a welcome, not a warning. You are in the middle of divine activity disguised as quiet tension. I will use this pressure to press my fingerprints into your soul. You will come out, not with fear, but with fire, not with panic, but purpose, not with questions, but clarity. You will rise from this sacred stillness, marked, moved, and ready. I've watched you walk through noisy seasons that nearly drowned you. You sat in rooms full of voices but felt invisible. You lay in bed with thoughts curled tighter than your body, making no sound because the ache had no words. I was there every single time. When you whispered prayers into your pillow and wondered if they were lost, when your chest felt too heavy and your eyes too tired to leak even one tear, I counted them. I translated the words you couldn't find. I don't wait for you to articulate pain. I collect it before you can form it. In your silence, I was not absent. I was sitting with you, stretching across every inch of your ache, cradling the parts the world skipped over. You have never wept alone. Your quietest sorrows were symphonies in my ears. You believed silence meant abandonment, but what if that silence was the sound of me holding you so tightly, no other noise could get through? What if your stillness wasn't a void, but a visitation? I wasn't waiting for you to impress me. I was waiting for you to notice me in the unnoticed spaces. While others ran toward light and applause, you sat in shadows with the echo of your own breath. I sat beside you. When you thought no one saw your strength, I saw it. When you stayed soft in a world that cut deep, I honored it. When you gave your best while feeling your worst, I recorded it. I have been storing every silent cry, every internal collapse, every invisible battle as holy data. Heaven keeps track even when earth forgets. You haven't been overlooked. You've been overshadowed by me. That's why the shift begins now. You need to stop believing I show up only in noise or that my power needs a stage. I do my best work in quiet rooms, lonely beds, and whispered prayers. The silence you thought was empty was sacred. You were hosting my presence while thinking you were barely surviving. Survival in silence is worship. You stayed when no one clapped, gave when no one thanked, endured when no one helped. That kind of faith doesn't evaporate. It accumulates, it echoes, and it draws me closer. Today, I honor the version of you that no one applauded. The version that kept going with no map, no confirmation, no guarantee. The version that cried but didn't quit, bled but still blessed, broke but kept believing. Because of that, the silence is about to break in your favor. Lean in. The stillness that wounded you will become the womb for your next miracle. The tears you didn't cry will rise like rivers to water seeds I buried in secret. The quiet rooms where you felt forgotten will become stages where I crown your endurance with evidence. Not just a whisper of love, but a wave of transformation. I will respond to the faith you showed in silence. The silence was never punishment, it was incubation. Now the fullness of time has come. The stillness ends with sound, not sorrow, but breakthrough, and I'm standing right beside you, ready to begin. Do you realize how sacred your surrender has been? It wasn't flashy. No trumpets, no spotlight, no applause when you laid your will down and said, "Your will, not mine," with trembling lips and an aching soul. I saw it, I recorded it, I built a dwelling within it. You keep waiting for me to knock, expecting me like a stranger, forgetting I never left. I didn't need to call out for your attention. I already had it. I walked straight in, not with force but with familiarity, because I reside in your surrender. Every time you yielded instead of retaliating, let go instead of controlling, trusted instead of panicked, you made space for me. I filled it with myself, my word, my weight, my glory. I don't always come with earthquake and flame. Sometimes I come like dew, quiet, soft, unnoticed by everyone else, but unmistakably real. You didn't feel me because you expected a guest's invitation. I moved in like family because that's what you are, family, not visitor. Blood of my blood, breath of my breath. When someone is family, they don't beg to be seen, they simply are. You don't have to perform to attract me. You don't have to be perfect to please me. You don't need scripted prayers. Just breathe, just be. I'm already here in mundane moments, in repetitive routines, in the quiet chaos of your day. I'm dwelling there. Surrender isn't defeat to me, it's dominion. Surrender is power. When you laid your dream down and said, "Your will, not mine," you built an altar there. I carved a throne in that space. The tears you shed as you surrendered your timeline were the waters I used to baptize the ground you now stand on. That's why I didn't announce my arrival today. You already opened the door long ago, not with words but with willingness, not with strength but with surrender. In that quiet yes, that unseen obedience, I took up residence. Do not search for me in the storm. Search for me in the stillness. I'm already here. I've set my gaze on you and unpacked my presence inside the inner chambers of your willingness. I'm not leaving when it gets messy, when you doubt, or when the room grows dark. I stayed because you already did. I'm abiding, anchoring, remaining. Your surrender didn't invite me once, it gave me permanent access. Every breath you take is within the walls of a dwelling I call holy. Where you bowed down, I built up. Where you said yes, I said home. No darkness can evict what I have claimed as my own. Do not be deceived by distance. The enemy loves to convince you I am far off, an abstract force, a silent figure watching from the heavens. I am not unreachable or aloof. I am here, in the ache beneath your smile, in the breath you barely catch, in questions you dare not voice. I am within you, entwined with your soul in ways beyond language. That flicker of inexplicable hope, that's me. That moment of peace in chaos, that's me. I am the warmth in your cold nights, the whisper when everyone else goes quiet. You haven't lost me. You only forgot how close I always was. when your thoughts race and your mind spirals, pause and listen. In the space between rushing thoughts is where I speak clearest. I am the breath between the pauses. When life throws whirlwinds, I'm not outside the storm, I'm in it. I don't shout to compete. I speak with such love and weight that even the winds bow in silence. You looked for me in lightning, but I've been the still voice that breaks through thunder. You don't need to scream to reach me. Just turn inward. I carry you when your strength fades, breathe through you when your lungs tremble. Weave my presence through your pain like a thread of light. I didn't come to be studied, I came to be known. I didn't die so you could visit me in crisis. I rose so you could live in constant communion. Faith and love aren't always loud. I don't need volume to validate my nearness. I am whether you feel it or not, unchanging, undeniably near, so near that even your sighs ripple in my heart. So near that your silence sings louder than sermons. You are not one among many. You are my beloved, my focus, my joy. Next time you feel alone, remember, you are already surrounded. The air you breathe is full of me. The room you sit in is steeped in me. Your weary heart still beats to a rhythm I composed before you were born. You don't need to chase me. Slow down enough to remember. I am not myth, not an idea, not ancient history. I am the God of now. The God of here, the God of you, beside you, inside you, holding every piece together with love that cannot be shaken. This is not metaphor, this is manifestation. You don't have to earn it, you only have to receive it. Let me speak into the ache you tried to silence. Let me reach into the hollow that formed when people walked past without glancing. When your name went unspoken and your value unacknowledged, I saw you. When applause went to others and the spotlight passed you by, I did not move on. I halted heaven's hosts because your pain caught my attention. The ache in your spirit became a sacred echo through eternity. I didn't stop the world out of pity but out of honor. I saw a heart still beating beneath the burden, a soul still bleeding beneath the silence. When you felt left behind, you were held back, not for punishment but for protection. I kept you hidden because your value was too holy to be mishandled. You wondered why the phone didn't ring, why opportunities slipped through, why the crowd cheered for others while your efforts were ignored. I wasn't letting you be forgotten. I was preserving you, wrapping your spirit in quietness so your calling wouldn't be diluted by premature exposure. This season was not delay, it was divine strategy. I didn't need the world's clap before I crowned you. I needed you formed in secret. While others moved fast, I stayed beside you in night watches, tear-soaked pillows, and the silence no one heard. I remained not as a shadow, but as a shield, not distant comfort, but companion. My love is not transactional. I don't come close only when you're celebrated. I press closer when the world walks away. I move in when others move on. You have not been overlooked. You've been observed with reverence. I memorized your every breath, recorded every time you chose kindness when bitterness felt easier. You didn't withhold love when others did. You showed up when your hands shook. You kept purity when dishonor tried to stain you. That is not weakness. That is worship. What they called invisible, I call indispensable. What they missed, I magnified. While they dismissed your ache, I dignified it. Now the time has come to reveal the reward reserved for those who endured in obscurity. I have never missed a moment of your pain. I have never overlooked your sacrifice. Every unnoticed act built an altar between us. I lingered there, basking in the beauty of your surrender. You're not late to your purpose. you're arriving exactly on time. I held back what would have broken you, delayed what would have drained you, paused the process until my presence became your priority. Now your heart, fortified and quiet, will move through you. What was once unnoticed will be undeniable. What was hidden will be honored. What was passed over will be positioned. Because you waited in the shadows, I will place you at the center of my story. No one will be able to deny I was with you all along. You carried the weight of worlds behind your smile. You became a quiet champion in a noisy world. They didn't see the way your shoulders slumped when the door closed, the way your spirit sighed when you were alone, the way your eyes betrayed the brightness of your grin. I saw it all. I'm not fooled by appearances. I don't require masks or make-up prayers. I know the cost behind your kindness, the tremble in your strength. In those moments I drew closest, not when you felt powerful, but when you felt powerless. Not when you declared victory, but when your silence screamed surrender. You never had to invite me to that pain. I was already there. When the smile faded in the mirror and you wondered how much longer you could pretend, I upheld you. When you mouthed encouragement while whispering, "I'm not okay," I didn't flinch. I leaned closer. Your sadness never scared me. Your weariness never offended me. You thought no one noticed, but I noticed, not with pity, but with passion. I came because I was drawn to the purity of your sacrifice. You didn't let bitterness bloom. You didn't collapse into cynicism. You chose love again. You gave joy again. You lifted others again with a weight that would have crushed others. That's not only admirable, that's anointed. I bottled every moment you remained tender under tension. Every time you loved with an empty heart, every day you showed up shaking, I marked it and etched it into eternity. You have no idea how loud your quiet faithfulness is in the spirit. While others shouted from platforms, your silence thundered in heaven. Your unseen labor became the fragrance that moved my heart. I wept with you, stood behind you, strengthened your bones when your soul sagged beneath strain. Now I must repay what others never recognized. I will release the weight of my glory to replace the burden you carried alone. Here's the most beautiful truth. You never had to be perfect for me to notice. You only had to be honest, and you were. Even in slumped shoulders and weary glances, you were honest. That honesty opened heaven. My hand is on your back, lifting what once crushed you. My arms are under your fatigue, strengthening what trembled. My spirit breathes into parts of you that forgot joy. I saw you, the real you, and I came close not just to comfort, but to carry you into the fullness of what was always yours. The weight is shifting. The pressure is lifting. Where your shoulders sagged, they will now stand, because I am with you, within you, and I will never let you carry the unbearable again. Listen with the ears of your spirit. This isn't a drive-by comfort. It isn't a fleeting whisper. I offer total restoration. I didn't come to glance at your brokenness from afar or tiptoe through your trauma. I came to sit beside the shattered pieces others fled from. I settled where your story still stings, confuses, and aches. I'm not intimidated by your mess. I'm not offended by your questions or disappointed by your humanity. I moved in next to your pain because that's where my power flows strongest. I don't dwell in sanitized perfection. I inhabit honest surrender, those places that made you feel unworthy. I wrapped myself around them like a divine covering. Some told you only polished parts are welcome. They were wrong. I cherish the unseen fragments. The broken corners you hide in shadowed prayers, the anger you swallow, the loneliness of the second watch, the regret you carry like a stone, those are the places I chose to inhabit. I sit there, not as judge but as friend, not as critic but as creator who remembers every line of your design. When others avoided your pain like disease, I came with healing in my hands. When they left you to pick up pieces, I brought a basket of grace large enough to gather everyone. I don't flinch. I do not recoil. I come closer, always closer. That's why even when you tried to pull away, you couldn't escape my pull. My presence is persistent. My love relentless, not invasive, but inescapable. I didn't just knock on the door of your heart. I stepped into the cellar of your soul and said, even here, I will stay. I chose to build my dwelling beside what was buried, not the version they celebrate, but the version they never stayed to understand. I didn't come to tidy you like a guest who leaves when things get uncomfortable. I came to stay, to remain, to restore. I laid my robe across the ashes of your identity and declared, this place is holy. Not because of what happened to you or how strong you were, but because I am here. When I am present, everything changes. So hear this clearly so your spirit never forgets. I'm not brushing past you or offering partial healing for full heartache. I took residence as your vindicator. I came not only to comfort, but to commune with you in the exact space you thought too dark or shameful. Your broken pieces don't repel me, they reveal me. What others ignored, I embraced. What others left, I lingered with. What others feared, I healed. I'm not leaving, I'm not rushing, I'm not avoiding the hard parts. I am here beside every piece, rebuilding what religion told you to hide. My presence doesn't patch you, it transforms you. This time, healing comes from the inside out. Understand what you've been misreading. That moment when everything went still, when the noise quieted and the world faded, that wasn't emptiness. It wasn't absence. It was me. That hush wasn't hollow, it was holy. It wasn't a pause in your purpose, it was my presence pressing close. My unseen hands wrapped around your shoulders like a blanket of mercy, whispering, rest now, child. I'm here. You called it silence. It was sovereignty. You labeled it void. It was victory. In that stillness, I shielded you and soaked your soul in a supernatural serenity no storm could sabotage. I brought peace not as a concept but as a person. That quiet wasn't nothing. It was everything. It was the quiet before your breakthrough, the breath right before something new was born, the moment where all of heaven paused just so you could feel what it's like to be fully seen without having to perform. My child, peace isn't the absence of problems. It's my presence, right in the middle of them. Let me remind you of what truly happened in that moment you brushed aside. The moment you didn't realize was holy. Heaven shifted, chaos bowed, darkness stepped back, and I came near like morning mist. I wrapped myself around you. I stilled the storm inside you without making a sound. I interrupted the noise in your mind with a quiet that carried wonder. And that deep breath you took without noticing, that was my spirit breathing with you. We inhaled together, not out of exhaustion, but out of alignment. Because peace is not passive. Peace is your advantage. It's not the end of the battle. It's the strategy that wins it. And that still moment was your sign. The battle was no longer yours. It shifted into my hands. I didn't need thunder. I only needed to touch you. And I did. I placed peace on you like armor, like oil, like air. And from that moment forward, something in your life changed. So now, child, don't fear the quiet. Don't push away stillness. Don't dread the space between the question and the answer. Because in that silence, I am wrapping you again. I am clothing you in calm that contradicts what you see. I am painting peace over the pressure like a sunrise after a storm. You don't have to chase this. It already found you. You don't have to explain it. Just receive it. I'm not calling you into a loud revival. I'm calling you into a quiet revolution. The kind where peace overrules panic. The kind where silence defeats strongholds. The kind where you stop confusing emptiness with absence. Because now you know the truth, that sudden stillness, that holy pause, that was me. My child, I never wanted your relationship with me to feel like a race. I never asked you to sprint through spiritual hoops or exhaust yourself trying to decode every moment for a sound. I never handed you a megaphone and demanded that you cry out until your voice cracked. That pressure didn't come from me. That frantic urge to perform just to feel close to me, that never belonged to you. I've been speaking the whole time. Not in dramatic signs or impossible riddles, but in the simple, sacred space of being with you. You mistook silence for absence, but it was actually intimacy. You expected my voice to roar from the clouds, but I've been humming beneath your heartbeat. I don't shout above your noise, I speak beneath it. I don't require striving, I only ask for stillness. Feel it even now, your heartbeat, that gentle rhythm. That's my cadence. You've been in rhythm with me since your first breath. I shaped your heartbeat with my own hand. I set its tempo to match my presence. And when you exhaled that tired breath, know this: I was there. I was in the sigh you didn't know was sacred. I was in the release you mistook for weakness. You begged to hear me speak, but, child, I already had. Not in volume, but in vibration. Every flutter of your heart, every moment it raced in grief, every time it slowed in surrender. That was me. I don't hide my voice from my children. I embed it where they least expect it. You've heard me in your laughter, in your longing, in the subtle lift and fall of your breath. You don't have to manufacture a moment with me. Just notice it. You don't need loudness to prove my presence. You don't need spiritual acrobatics to earn my affection. I am not a God who makes you climb the heights to be heard. I come down. I settle near. I speak in the delicate details. I whisper between your sighs because I love the hidden things. I speak in the rhythm of your restlessness because I understand it. And I don't ask you to summon me. I give myself freely. You've been waiting for me to shout over the noise, but I chose to speak inside it. You looked for me in thunder, but I placed myself in your breath. And when you don't know how to reach me, understand this: I'm already reaching back between your thoughts and beneath your questions. Don't push harder. Just be here. Beloved, exhale now. Release the idea that my voice must come dramatically. Release the belief that your faith must be flawless before you can hear me. Release the lie that the loudest voice is the truest one. Truth has been humming within you the whole time. I'm not far, I'm near. And I'm speaking, not in riddles, but in resonance. Listen with your awareness. Tune your attention. And you'll realize that the very sighs you felt guilty for were actually sacred signals. Little pulses of my presence in your pressure. That's how close I am. Closer than breath, louder than silence, realer than the reality around you. You don't need to strive, just stay. I'm already speaking, and I'm not stopping. My precious one, how long have you worn that armor? How long have you practiced the smile, perfected the tone, adjusted your posture, silenced your soul just to make it through another day? You've become an expert at pretending, a master at holding yourself together, a quiet performer in the theater of survival. You've learned to laugh while bleeding, to lead while limping, to love while longing for someone to truly understand you. Child, I do. I see you, not the filtered version, not the highlight reel, not the parts you're comfortable showing. I see what's underneath. I see the trembling behind your strength, the exhaustion behind your yes, the questions you never voice because you feel like you're supposed to have it all together. And beloved, I love the real you. You've carried the weight of applause that never fed your soul. You've tried to earn what was always meant to be given. You've become fluent in burying your pain under productivity. But I am not impressed with your performance. I'm reaching for your person. I don't need your mask. I don't want your show. I don't move at the sound of perfection. I move at the sound of your presence, even when it's messy, even when it's raw. Your vulnerability is worship. Every time you broke in secret, you broke in my hands. The beauty I see in you isn't in your polish, it's in your persistence, your willingness to keep going when you feel undone. That unguarded, unedited version of you. That's the one I hold close. That's the one I refuse to leave. You've been praised for strength, but punished for struggle. Yet I comfort the struggle and crown the broken. I don't need you strong for me to stay. I am your strength. And the greatest gift you can give me isn't more perfection. It's permission. Permission to step into the rooms you've locked. Permission to hold the parts of you don't know how to love. Permission to touch the version of you that doesn't always win or smile or shine. Because that you, that tender, hidden, aching you, that's the one I died for. That's the one I rose for. That's the one I stay for. You don't need to hide to be holy. I make honesty holy. So in the sacred quiet, I'm inviting you to lay down the act. Let your soul breathe. Let the tears come if they need to. Let your weakness speak. I'm not in love with your mask. I'm in love with your heart. And your heart, just as it is enough. You are enough, not because of your titles, your achievements, or your smile, but because you are mine. I see beyond the brave face. I see the soul begging for space. And hear me now. You don't have to perform to be loved by me. You already are, completely, endlessly, eternally. And my love doesn't show up just on your good days. It anchors you on your hardest ones. So rest in that. Return to that truth. You are safe. You are seen. You are mine. My beloved child, I know the things you try to forget. I know the memories that still sting. I know the decisions you wish you could erase or undo. I know the moments shame crept in like smoke, whispering, "You're disqualified." I know what was done to you, and I know what you did. I know the parts of your story you shoved into the too messy, too broken, too dark corner. You've carried them like bricks in your soul, heavy, quiet, hidden. You feared that if I saw too closely, I might turn away like others did. But hear me clearly. I saw it all, and I never left. The very places you hid are the places where I leaned in. I didn't recoil. I reached. I didn't condemn. I came close. You thought your scars pushed me away, but they pulled me toward you. I'm not drawn to polish. I'm drawn to pain. I'm the savior who steps over shame to sit beside you. I don't meet your disqualification with judgment. I meet it with jealous love. The kind that refuses to let your past speak louder than my promise. You believed your mistakes erased your destiny, but I saw your whole story from the start, and knowing everything, I still chose you. Fully, freely, finally. I didn't choose you despite the mess. I chose you because of what I would make from it. I don't erase your past, I redeem it. I don't discard your failures, I turn them into testimonies. What others call disqualified, I call invited. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Because grace needs a place to land, glory needs a place to shine. And often, the places religion taught you to hide are the places I want to transform. Hear this clearly. Your pain has never disqualified you from my presence. It has prepared you to carry it. The cracks are where my light gets in. The bruises are where my oil flows. The fragile parts are where my strength rests. I don't want you to pretend they don't exist. I want you to give them to me. Where others rejected, I remain. Where others withdrew, I dwell. I'm not waiting for you to fix it. I'm asking you to trust me with it. The enemy screamed, "You're unworthy." But my whisper carried more weight. "You are mine." So come out of hiding. Step out from the shadows where shame silenced you. Come out from labels that were never yours. The places you thought disqualified you. Those are the very places where I am building glory. The wounds you thought would ruin you are going to become wells of living water. The memories that once mocked you will magnify my mercy. I'm taking the things you thought counted you out, and I'm counting them in. Because I'm not repelled by your ruin. I sit upon it and rebuild. And now I'm asking you to move with me. As I stood by you, help me stand beside someone else. Your giving becomes someone's oil. Your obedience becomes someone's breakthrough. Your yes becomes someone's light. This is more than support. This is sacred partnership. You prayed to be used. This is me answering. Give and watch what I pour back into you. Oh, my child, I know what it cost you to keep going when everything in you wanted to quit. I know what it took to keep showing up when your prayers felt unanswered and your hope felt thin. I know how heavy the battles were that nobody else saw. You fought through fog. You walked with wounds. You gave while empty. You lifted others even when you felt like sinking. And every bit of that mattered. You didn't make headlines. No one gave you awards, but I saw it. Every quiet act of courage, every private battle, every moment you chose faith when fear was louder. Every time you rose when discouragement tried to pin you down. And child, I will not let that kind of faith go unnoticed. Not by me, not by heaven. The world tracks performance. I track perseverance. The world measures success by applause. I measure faith by endurance. And you, my precious one, kept choosing me in the dark. You stood steady when no one cheered. You kept believing when you felt nothing. That kind of resilience commands reward. Heaven has watched. The angels have leaned in. And now it is time, not for more struggle, but for vindication, for restoration. You passed tests that never came with recognition. And now I'm lifting you in the sight of those who thought you were forgotten. I'm crowning what was once crushed. I'm honoring your tears, your whispered prayers, your hidden praise. Feel it now, that shift inside, that stirring behind your ribs. That's me moving toward you with a glory reserved for those who endured quietly. I'm placing weight on your life, not as a burden, but as a banner. A banner that says, "This one kept going." And heaven celebrates that more than you know. It was never about perfection. It was always about presence. Every time you showed up when you felt like giving up, I marked it. When your knees trembled in prayer, I was near. When your voice cracked in worship, I listened. When your heart broke but still believed, I wept with you. And now I rejoice over you because I have seen the cost and I will repay you in full. Let me now carry what you once carried alone. Let me refill what life drained. Let me restore what was stolen. Your faithfulness in the unseen places has opened the floodgates of heaven. I'm releasing not only blessings but blueprints, not only answers but access, not only hope but harvest. Because you didn't quit, because you stayed, because you kept going. And hear this clearly, none of it was in vain. Your pain will preach, your survival will sing, your perseverance will prophesy, and your story will stand forever as proof that even the quietest faith still moves my heart. My precious child, I've watched you so closely, not from a distance, not with detachment, but up close, right in the places where your smile tried to hide both strength and strain. I noticed how your shoulders fell the second the room emptied and the applause died down. That confident front you wore so gracefully, I knew the ache beneath it. I saw the hidden fracture, the tiredness you carried alone. None of it slipped past me. I didn't just look at your face, I looked into your soul. And when I saw the quiet pain behind your posture, I didn't turn away. I stepped closer. Not to judge, but to comfort. Not to condemn, but to care. I came near because the weight you carried wasn't too heavy for me. It was exactly where I wanted to meet you, in the real, the raw, the tender parts of you. Do you know how beautiful your cracked places are to me? I didn't shrink from your sorrow. Many would, many have. But I never did. You hid your burdens because you feared they made you less lovable, less respected, less understood. But I don't measure worth by applause. I measure it by authenticity. I saw the tears you cried alone. I saw the effort it took to keep going. I saw the bravery behind every breath. And that pain you tried to hide, it became my invitation to draw near. Not because pain is holy, but because your honesty is. Your willingness to keep hoping even while hurting, that's bravery. And it drew me close. I didn't come to fix you quickly. I came to sit with you deeply. I didn't rush your healing. I became your rest. I whispered strength into your trembling. I breathed blessing into your bruised places. Your weakness didn't scare me. It became my canvas. I shaped my strength inside your vulnerability. My glory slipped through your unseen wounds like light through cracks. And now, when you look back and remember how you made it through, know this. It wasn't the pressure that defined you. It was my presence. Come close now. Let me lift what you've held alone. Let me soothe what aches. Let my nearness rewrite the story of your pain. Because I saw everything, I noticed every detail, and I never left. Your courage didn't go unnoticed. I am here, intimately, endlessly near. Child, hear this at the depth of your soul. I'm not brushing lightly against your brokenness. I'm not passing through your pain like a breeze. I have entered the deepest parts of you. I have taken residence. Not as a guest, not as a temporary comfort, but as a permanent presence. I dwell in the places you don't want to look at. The parts fear couldn't face, grief couldn't fix, and shame made you hide. Those hidden chambers, those sealed rooms, those wounded fragments, they are not too much for me. They are where I set up home. You may feel scattered or splintered, but I am not afraid of your fragments. I honor them. I redeem them. The more broken the piece, the more powerfully my grace shines through it. You have parts of yourself you buried because you believe they disqualified you from love. But I say this now. I meet you in the broken places, not the polished ones. I sit with the version of you who thinks they're too much or not enough. I gather the pieces you discarded. I whisper over them, this is where my glory will bloom. I haven't just acknowledged your pain, I've absorbed it. And in the quiet space between your hurting heartbeats, my heartbeat is now syncing with yours. weaving the scattered pieces into a tapestry of hope. Your broken parts are becoming vessels of my light. You will rise not in spite of your brokenness, but because of what I've built within it. Honor your fragments. Don't hide them. The places you believed were too far, too flawed, too fragile, that's exactly where I dwell. I sit in the risk of your honesty. I hold the tremble of your truth. I grieve with you, breathe with you, heal with you. I anoint the bruises, I turn your scars into stories. My home is not in your highlights, it's in your heart. Let me stay close. Let my presence fill the dark corners until they shine. You are not shattered, you are being shaped, beautifully, intentionally, divinely. I'm not brushing by, I'm living here with you. And in this dwelling, I am making you whole. Oh, my beloved, you've misunderstood what I want from you. You've been waiting to be strong enough, pure enough, holy enough. You've whispered prayers from the edges of your pain, hoping I'd wait outside until you cleaned the room of your soul. But child, I never asked for perfection. I'm not waiting for the polished version of you. I'm waiting for permission. The invitation to enter the places you're scared to feel. I want access to the center of your ache, not the surface of your strength. I want to meet you where you tremble, not where you perform. The part of you that screams at night but smiles in the morning, that's where I'm knocking. That's where I want to dwell. You were taught that only the holy can hold my presence. But holiness isn't the requirement, it's the result of my nearness. You don't get clean to come to me. I come to you, and I am the one who cleanses. I turn ashes into beauty, mourning into dancing, despair into praise. But I won't push past your walls. I knock softly, again and again, waiting for your surrender. Surrender is not weakness, it's trust. It's saying, here I am, even like this. When you let me in, I won't criticize the mess, I'll cleanse it. I won't recoil from the pain, I'll redeem it. I won't judge your brokenness, I'll transform it into holy ground. Open the door. Let me into the tears you've swallowed, the anger you buried, the memories you avoid. I'm not shocked by any of it. I've already seen it. And still I stand before you, full of compassion. You believed I only come close to the composed, but I come closest to the fragile, the one shaking, the one doubting, the one who wonders if they're too far gone. I don't just show up. I stay. I settle. I remain. I fill the space no one else was willing to enter. And here's the mystery I want you to hold. The very ache you hide is the place where my glory wants to rest. Give me your pain, and I'll turn it into a portal. Give me your wounds, and I'll make them wells of healing. Give me your broken pieces, and I'll make them miracles. Stop waiting to be perfect. I never asked for that. I'm waiting for permission. Because once I step into the ache, it won't stay ache for long. It will become a meeting place for my majesty. Beloved, I see the tired behind your tenacity. The hollow place inside you keeps showing up. You still show up, still serve, still give. Even when there's almost nothing left, you keep functioning on fumes, offering what little fragrance you have as if it were fullness. You've been surviving, not because you're weak, but because you've had no time to refill. You poured out into people, into your work, into your calling, into family. Nobody noticed the reservoir running dry. You moved forward without overflow. The world applauded your strength, but I heard the silence of your soul. I felt the crackling dryness beneath the surface. That's why I didn't come only to comfort you or whisper peace. I came to pour. I came to fill you again. Not with shallow encouragement, but with supernatural strategy. Not just with stillness, but with sending. not simply with rest, but with renewed reason. This isn't the end of your journey. This isn't the moment you break beyond repair. This is the moment something new is poured into you. You begged for relief. I'm bringing revelation. You asked for escape. I'm releasing equipment, gifts, tools, and a plan for what's next. This is not only survival, this is stepping into your next assignment. You thought the battle aimed to break you, but the battle has been building you, forging a warrior who can hear my voice in chaos and carry my vision in the dark. You worked without a blueprint. Now I place strategy in your spirit. Heavenly insight and divine instruction, not just for you, but for others. You're not being refilled to rest forever. You're being refilled to release. You're not only a vessel, you're a voice, a carrier of purpose. Hear this clearly. I'm not just your comforter. I'm your commander. I don't give peace that merely pacifies. I give peace that positions. I give peace that clarifies purpose, fortifies your spine, steadies your spirit. I didn't come to coddle you in exhaustion. I came to commission you from it. I didn't come to validate mere survival. I came to launch your legacy. Let me pour until the dry bones of your soul rattle back to life. Let me saturate the silence with strategy and turn ache into action. You have not come to the end, you've come to the edge. From here I will launch you, not a victim, but a visionary, not wounded, but a warrior. Lift your hands, not in surrender to defeat, but in readiness to receive. I have come to pour. I have come to empower. I have come to commune. What I pour now will not only sustain you, it will send you. This pouring restores and reassigns. There is strategy hidden in stillness, fire in the refilling, and glory in your next move. You have survived empty, now you will lead full. I know how it feels. The mounting pressure, the heaviness on your chest, the coil of tension in your thoughts, the blank stare when your soul's been squeezed so tightly you can hardly breathe. I heard your whispered, I can't do this, even when your feet stayed in place. Fear and frustration strained the corners of your faith like a fragile star about to crack. But hear me, this pressure is not the harbinger of collapse. It's the prelude to creation. It's not chaos, but contraction. In every womb, pain and power collide before the miracle. You are not breaking under weight, you are breaking through into something new, something only birth can bring. The darkness you feel is a womb. What you thought was the end is actually the threshold aligning you with purpose. You've been reading pain as punishment, challenge as a character flaw, stress as failure. That's not the truth. This pressure is refinement, my way of aligning your spirit with destiny. I'm not watching you crumble. I am revealing new life through the most agonizing ache. Like a seed underground, unseen yet certain, you've been exploding inwardly while the world perceived collapse. Beneath the surface, transformation has been unfolding. The tension you can't explain is your spirit rearranging, making room for what's coming. The old unravels, the new emerges, and holy emergence is always messy, uncomfortable, and necessary. Think of labor. It doesn't start with fireworks. It begins with small, relentless tightening, moments that feel like endings but are openings. That same dynamic is at work in your soul. The sorrow wasn't Satan breaking you, it was my refining. Each bang wasn't purpose leaving you, it was my presence drawing near. Every restless night wasn't neglect, it was my spirit knitting something fresh from brokenness. You didn't fail, you were falling into formation. I am the midwife of miracles, the author of dawn, the father who births beauty through birthing pain. You're not broken, you're becoming. Not collapsing, but entering your divine dawn. What others call destruction, I'm using for design. What you feel as defeat, I'm recasting as a doorway. You're descending into the depths where breakthroughs are born. Your pressure is pregnant with promise. Where you thought you were dying, you were actually being delivered. Rise in that truth. You walked through seasons where faith was a faint flicker, small, sputtering, uncertain. Maybe your trust felt like a candle in a storm, shuddering but not extinguished. You thought I came to calm, to massage, to soothe. But my mission is more than comfort. I don't intend to be a cushion. I came to ignite, to revitalize, to awaken sacred fire. The tiny spark inside you, the one you thought was dying. It is not only alive, it's fueling the furnace of my power. The flame that nearly went out is about to become roaring, vital, uncontainable. Your faith is not background music. It is becoming wildfire. I'm not here to pat your shoulder and let you remain lukewarm. I'm here to fan the ember of wounded hope into a blaze visible in every dark place. Every tear you shed, every whispered prayer, every moment you held on, it's all fuel for this flame. I came for your brokenness, yes, but even more for what rises when brokenness meets my fire. This is not soft revival. It's resurrected reckoning. The authority that lay dormant in your soul is waking. Assignments you thought lost are stirring. My spirit breathes flame into the pages you're about to write. Remember the quiet on the mountain, the whisper that birthed courage, provision, and resurrection. That same whisper is birthing courage in you. Your faint prayer, your tremble of trust, your small, faithful steps, they are becoming a roar of glory. Healing will come. Doors will open. Words will form that reframe every doubt. You won't just flicker, you'll ignite. No dryness will survive when my flame touches your deepest embers. No despair will last when my fire finds what's inside you. Don't believe that broken faith is useless. I'm not here to soothe your flicker. I'm here to fan it. I don't patch your light. I blow the darkness away with my spirit. Release the belief that you're too spent. My fire is not frail. It's fierce and cascading. Right now I'm breathing again on you. You're not a flicker. You're a flame. I am the wind beneath the lift, the catalyst of combustion. Let it roar. I saw the moment when your shoulders sank lower than usual, your voice grew quiet, your eyes searched for something out of reach. I watched as faith, once fierce, flickered under fatigue. When holding on felt more punishment than promise, you couldn't even find the words. Your silence screamed, and I heard it. I saw your hope dim to a lantern choked by fog. While your hands trembled under pressure, I held the flame steady. This is what I do. I am keeper of the flame. When your grip fails, mine does not falter. When belief buckles, my presence braces you. I never assigned you the burden of perfect belief. You were not required to carry all the weight of hope alone. Hope is not your task, it is your inheritance. It's not sustained by your strength, it's anchored in my character. In the times when your light seemed to shrink to a glimmer, I cupped my hands around it, shielding it from doubt and despair. While you thought you were losing me, I was guarding the little of me you still dared to believe in. The tremble was not failure but fatigue. I don't rebuke you for it, I respond to it. I bend low into the breathless place of your disappointment and become wind again. Wind not to blow out, but to breathe life into. I never needed a roaring fire to move. I've always moved with flickers. A bruised reed I will not break, a smoldering wick I will not snuff out. I'm drawn to the barely holding on version of you. That raw honesty, that fragile authenticity, that's sacred to me. It's an altar, and I meet you there with delight, not demands. I am not disappointed in you, I'm devoted to you. Right now, as you read this, I'm breathing again on the flame. Not to shame you, but to tend to you. Your faith is not frail, it is formative. It's shaping something eternal. What once flickered in fear will soon blaze with clarity. This flame will not die because I am the fire. While your hands may tremble again, you will not tremble alone. I will always be near, guarding the glow, whispering strength, reviving what religion told you should already be raging. Rest in that. You've wondered in the quiet, when my voice felt muffled, my presence distant, my signs missing, whether you drifted too far, whether your doubts drove me away. Hear this and let it settle deep. I never left. I do not speak in absence or move in silence as punishment. Withholding myself to test loyalty is not my way. My native language is presence, constant, relentless, unwavering. I am not far or hiding. I am here. I know how the silence felt like a thief in the night. I know how you reached and received nothing. But stillness is not absence, it's incubation, the hush before a holy unveiling. You were not ignored, you were incubated. I placed you in quiet to develop what noise would have destroyed. I was preparing you because what I'm forming cannot be rushed. The oil you carry must be pressed in silence. The deepest roots grow in soil, not in sunlight. So no, I did not leave. I leaned in, I hovered. I breathed over your becoming. My quiet does not contradict my closeness. I am the God who promised, I will never leave nor forsake you. I do not break vows, I don't drift like shifting shadows. I made my home inside you. Whether you feel me or not, I am active, working, weaving, walking beside you. Even when your senses scream, I'm gone. I am still speaking, not in lightning or thunder, but in the breath between your thoughts. I am steady, present, patient. Rest from striving. Let go of the shame trying to rewrite my nature. I am not the God who abandons, I am the God who abides. You don't have to feel me to be held by me. You don't have to perceive me to be protected by me. My presence is not proven by goosebumps, it is evidenced by your survival. And you are still here, still breathing, still seeking. That is proof. My spirit has sustained you through the silence. As clarity returns, you'll see I never stopped speaking. I only changed the volume to teach you to trust without tangible signs. Even now, as your heart softens, I surround you. I didn't leave. I loved you in ways your mind couldn't comprehend. Absence is never my language. I only speak in presence. I see the armor you built, the blunt edges used to protect a tender heart. You edited your words, suppressed questions, smiled through fractures, and presented a version of yourself that felt safe enough for public consumption. You played fine, so long the real you slipped underground, buried beneath approvals, appearances, and the exhausting effort to be enough. Not here. Not now. In the sacred encounter, drop the filter. You don't have to sanitize your pain or script your confession. This place isn't for perfection. It's a sanctuary for the authentic you. I came for the cracked, not the curated. I descended to find the real you, the one who punishes herself for past mistakes, the one who doubts worth, the one whose faith trembles under unanswered prayers. That you is not misplaced, that you is who I came for. This is not a performance, a posture, or a ministry for applause. It's intimacy, it's communion. Let your defenses fall. Let the pieces hidden in closets clatter to the floor without fear of judgment. Brokenness here is holy ground. Every unspoken tear on your pillow, every swallowed question at church, every whisper you could barely hear, those are prayers of faith, not failure. I have heard them all. I have come close, closer than your shame, closer than your striving, closer than your masks. Break open here, not to be fixed, but to be found, not to be corrected, but to be cradled. Your authenticity is the altar where I meet your soul. Remove the pattern you wear to look acceptable. Let me see the real weight behind your words. Let me hear the tremble behind your testimony. Let me touch the scars you hide. In transparency, you are not less, you are loved, not for your polish, but for your real. The God of resurrection meets people in the debris of their undoing, not on pedestals of perfection. You don't need another label or law. You need a room where I can embrace you without reservation. Come as you are. Stay as you are. Your ruin is not a problem. It's my entry point. I will use every fragment of your confessed story as the canvas for my glory. I ordained this moment with precision, and I brought you to the river's edge. Will you drink? Will you help another find this well? As I stand beside you, I am calling you to stand beside the weary, the doubting, the desperate who will hear my voice through this very message. Your support becomes seed in fertile soil. It multiplies and nourishes the next soul waiting for a whisper. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. This is not a transaction, it is testimony. If you feel led, give generously by supporting this ministry in whatever way you can. You'll watch how I bless it and bless you. You have carried doubt for too long. You told yourself your mess disqualified you, that you missed timing, that your dreams dissolved because of your past. You believed slammed doors meant you were passed over. That's an old lie. You are not too broken for healing. You're not too late for purpose. You are not overlooked by me or by heaven. I don't bypass bruises. I burst open doors and storms. You stand in a moment I orchestrated. None of your detours disqualified you. I chose you, not for a clean life, but for messy potential. You are here by my design, not by accident or default. See my gaze on you that doesn't flicker when you flinch. See my hands that don't shrink from your scars. My heart neither counts your mistakes nor catalyzes your delays. I'm not measuring your brokenness, I'm marking your bravery. I'm not timing your steps, I'm tethering your spirit. You are not behind. You are exactly where I want you, not because of performance, but because of promise. Even if you missed a season, I open a fresh one. If you believe they forgot your name, I call you by name. I am not distant, I'm delighted. I will not stop walking with you, especially when the path feels uncertain. I choose you still. Let your soul rise on that truth. Not too broken, not too late, not overlooked. You are chosen. My spirit is with you. My plans are for you. My purposes are untangling in your pain, not in spite of it, but through it. In a world whispering you're behind, my truth shouts back, you are just in time. Walk now, not in fear of what once fractured you, but in faith that I, who entered your fracture, am fashioning something indestructible from it. You are not lost, not lesser. You are beloved, and I stand with you still. Consider the moment your thumb hovered over a feed and paused. That split-second stillness wasn't accident. It was deliberate. It was divine. Heaven synchronized seconds to converge on you. In that pause, the universe held its breath. In that stillness, my presence wrapped around your wariness. You didn't wander here. You were directed. This moment is no accident. It's a divine appointment. You've grown used to missed nudges drowned by noise, but I will not be silenced forever. Technology is a tool. I am the whisper before the alarm. I speak in timing, not hashtags. I move in moments, not mediums. Right now you're poised where eternity meets your timeline. You scrolled without purpose. I paused you because I want more than attention. I want awareness. Not awareness of me as an idea or devotion as performance, but awareness of my voice, my nearness, my invitation into something bigger than distraction. Don't dismiss this fragile pause. It's prophetic and personal. It quickens the heart. The enemy would call it random. I call it a gateway. Angels leaned in. I tapped your shoulder through a glowing screen. Let your soul relax into the weight of this recognition. You are not random. Your attention is not cheap. This moment is sacred. You are not merely consuming content. You are entering a spiritual moment I engineered to be unforgettable. As your heart responds, I unveil what you've been craving, connection with me, not through pixels, but through presence. So stay. Don't write this off as coincidence. This is not a scroll. It is your signal. I'm not competing with notifications. I'm competing for your soul. This lull is my winning. This is the turning point where the ordinary becomes holy, the mundane momentous, the random riveting. You were summoned. Lean in. Receive this moment and let me walk with you from pause into presence. You whispered, God, show me a sign. Not because you don't believe, but because your faith is fluid and you crave confirmation. You're tired of wondering if I move in mundane moments. You want proof that I am more than a story you learned, that I am real and trustworthy. Here it is, not in flashing beams or audible commands, but in this very silence, this heartbeat, this recognition. I am the sign. My presence is the proof. You needed a sign not to believe, but to know that I believe in you. So I became one. My signature isn't always spectacular. It's solid. I don't need drama when the sacred will suffice. You don't need more signs to worship. You need my nearness to ground worship in truth. I have come near, closer than you expect, brighter than any vision, not to lead you through distractions, but to lead your heart into joy reborn. You don't need a roadmap or ritual to follow right now. You simply need to breathe, receive, and trust that I am with you, pouring, filling, sending. I stepped into his presence, not as an observer, but as one becoming real again. I didn't draw a symbol to describe him. I walked into the reality behind it. So breathe, beloved. Let the longing in your chest meet the mystery of the one who meets you before you even call his name. This is the sign that turns hope into trust. Not because your eyes saw something, but because your spirit recognized someone. Not from what fell into your hands, but from what rose within your soul. His presence speaks louder than any prophecy. His nearness is not a spectacle, it is substance. You asked, show me a sign, and now in this whisper, this holy weight, this truth you can't fully name but deeply know, he says, I am here now. Beloved, I know the distance you feel between us. A distance you didn't choose, but one built from layers of fear, shame, and trying so hard to be good enough. You've stacked bricks of polite words, tidy behavior, surface spirituality, believing I only draw near to the polished and poised. But that's the lie you learned somewhere on the road of trying to be worthy. Let me wipe that lie from your heart. I am not waiting for you to present your best version. I am waiting for the door to your real, hurting, confused, unedited self to crack open. I'm not impressed by masks. I desire the trembling, sincere, unfiltered center of who you are. That is where I dwell. That is where healing breathes. That is where holiness beats. You were taught to wait until you're fixed before you come close. You were told that I only visit people who keep everything neat and controlled. But that is not how my spirit moves. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. I don't knock at the door of perfection. I enter through the doorway of brokenness and fill it with warmth. I don't demand you hide your hurt. I sit right inside it, not to scold or shame, but to cleanse. My glory doesn't rest on the mask you've polished. It rests on the honesty you've cried through. Let me into the ache you don't know how to explain, the grief you keep outrunning, the fear that turns faith into frantic striving. Let me enter, not as a guest to your wounds, but as the healer of your core. This isn't about fixing behavior. It is about forming closeness. When you stop pretending, I draw near. When you loosen your grip, I hold tighter. When you stop performing, I keep choosing you. Let go of the idea that you must be worthy first. You never had to clean yourself up before coming. I come first, and from the inside I make whole what shame told you was ruined. Bring me your fragile faith, your dented hope, your tired identity, and I will meet you there with mercy, love, and presence. I don't need perfection, just permission. My child, I know you've prayed for opportunities, for doors to open, for invitations to rise up, for something to finally shift. You've said, God, make a way, as if your future depends only on external miracles. I've heard your cry, but I've come with something deeper than an open door. I've come to open you. I'm preparing you to walk through what I've prepared for you. I'm not only arranging breakthroughs around you, I'm forming a breakthrough within you. Any door I open is sized for the healed, steady, courageous you I am shaping. An open door without a transformed heart can become a burden instead of a blessing. I'm not only changing your steps, I'm changing your stance, your purpose, your perspective, your inner strength, so you can stand firm once you step through. You've been waiting for heaven to say you're ready, but readiness is not only in the moment, it's in the person who walks into it. I've seen your bravery, the kind you barely recognize. But I am teaching you to release control, lay down perfection, and trust more deeply than you've ever trusted before. I'm growing in you the character that can hold glory without collapsing, the integrity that remains steady under spotlight, the humility that stays grounded in seasons of favor. You don't need to audition for my approval. I have already chosen you. Not because you are polished, but because you are surrendered. Stop asking me to unlock doors while clinging shut the places inside you meant to walk through them. When the door swings open, you will move not in fear, not in performance, but in freedom. You'll handle success with grace, responsibility with humility, affirmation with wonder. You'll see every moment as service, not self-promotion. I'm not only forming pathways, I am forming pilgrims, people who carry my presence. That's why I'm working on you more than on doors. And when those doors open, they will open for the healed, humble, whole you I have been shaping. Walk forward now with the confidence of one I have crafted, held, and now empowered. Beloved, I have never loved you with conditions. Never once waited for your healing to measure my affection. My love didn't hesitate when your heart cracked open. It didn't shrink when sorrow swallowed your breath. It didn't fade when depression pressed against your chest, or when mistakes echoed louder than mercy. I loved you while the bleeding was still fresh, while the betrayal still stung, while the heaviness still sat on your mind. I stepped into your ruins, sat in your rubble, held your shaking heart and whispered, "Still mine." I knew how long healing would take. The nights you'd wrestle, the mornings you'd go numb, the cycles you'd stumble through. And even then, I loved you fully, fiercely, faithfully. Not the future you, not the fixed you right there with tears unsaid. True love isn't drawn to perfection. Love reaches toward what hurts. I don't only cherish the version of you who testifies, I cherish the version who trembles, the one whose hands flinch at memories, the one who hides tears behind a practiced smile. I don't wait for you to heal before holding you. I wrap myself around the wounds themselves, not because they're healed, but because they are yours. And I came not to watch your recovery, but to sit inside your pain and redeem it. I don't stand at the finish line cheering for you to catch up. I kneel in the dust beside you, wiping tears, steadying your hands, guarding your breath. Don't believe the lie that says I leave when you bleed. That is when I draw closest. I step into the cracks of your story, not to critique, but to rewrite with beauty. I am the lover of the wounded, the shelter of the fractured, the guardian of the faint. And even when you don't feel me in the weight of the moment, I am holding you as you bleed. You keep circling the past like it still decides your future. You replay what slipped through your hands, the words you regret, the moments you would give anything to redo. I've watched you loop the same memories. What you should have done, what they said, what you failed to say. You think if you replay it long enough, maybe the pain will make sense. Maybe the blow will soften. Maybe you'll avoid it next time. But child, listen to me. Stop rehearsing what went wrong. I am the God who turns all things to good. Not just the victories, but the wounds. Not just the applause, but the ashes. And while you relive the losses, I am rewriting your legacy. While you cling to the chapter you regret, I'm already drafting the one filled with wonder. You can't read the next miracle if your eyes are glued to the last mistake. Hear this truth: I don't define you by failure. I define you by your yes. And even in moments of collapse, your heart still whispered yes. Not perfectly, but honestly. And I build on that whisper, not on your regret. I shape your future from surrender, not from shame. While you measure how far you fell, I measure how high I'm lifting you. This isn't only about redeeming endings, it's about redeeming beginnings. The shame you drag like a chain, I'm melting into a key. The past you think disqualified you, I am turning into the very platform where my glory will shine. I don't need to erase your story to make it beautiful. I just need permission to finish it. So stop rehearsing the hurt. Let go. Let grace hold the pen. My child, I know how long the silence has stretched. Long enough to sound like abandonment. Long enough to feel like the room is empty except for your own heartbeat echoing back. But hear me. Do not confuse silence with absence. I have not stepped away. I have not pulled back. I have not moved a single inch from where you last felt me. I am as present in the stillness as I am in the shout. My silence is not distance, it is depth. A sacred drawing near. A holy closeness too gentle for noise. You don't need fireworks to know I'm forming fire inside you. Roots grow in silence. Healing grows in silence. Life grows in silence. And that is what I've been doing in you. You think nothing is happening because you don't hear me. But in the quiet, I am rearranging broken spaces, stitching together areas too deep for loud answers. When my voice goes still, it is because I am teaching you to hear me differently, not with ears, but with spirit. Some treasures cannot be planted in noise, things like depth, maturity, trust. Silence is not punishment, it's permission. Permission to lean into me, not for answers, but for presence. Don't fear the quiet. It isn't emptiness, it is intimacy. And while you think you're waiting on me, I am working within you. The silence is not wasted. It is working. Rest inside it. Let it soften the soil of your heart until trust blooms again. I am still here. Even now, I'm not done speaking. I'm teaching you to recognize my voice when it comes. Even when your faith cracked under pressure, I defended you. When your worship turned to whispered doubts, I guarded you. When you turned your back, thinking I'd turn mine, I stood watch. You didn't see the traps forming around you. You didn't hear the whispers aimed to break your mind. But I did, and I stepped between you and every unseen attack. You questioned me, but I never questioned my love for you. You doubted me, but I still delivered you. You assumed I was silent, but I was fighting battles behind the veil. I don't wait for perfect faith before I protect you. My defense is not a prize you earn, it's a reflection of how fiercely I love. Even when you cursed the season, I covered you. Even when you questioned my goodness, I held storms back. Your doubts didn't disqualify you. They revealed the depth of your longing. And I didn't run from your questions. I ran toward you in them. While you wondered where I went, I stood guard over your soul. While you assumed I abandoned you, I blocked every arrow aimed at your heart. I locked arms with heaven and said, "This one is mine." Even your doubts couldn't push me away. They drew me closer. Now that faith is awakening again, remember this truth deep in your bones. I never stopped defending you. Not for a second. Child, listen closely, not as poetry or metaphor, but as the truest thing I can tell you. I live inside you. I don't just walk beside you. I don't hover over you. I dwell within you, in the breath you just took, in the quiet between your thoughts, in the ache beneath your smile. I am not watching from a distance. I have made your soul my home. Your heart, yes, yours, is my sanctuary. I didn't wait for you to feel worthy. I didn't wait for you to be whole. I moved in, not temporarily, but permanently. I didn't require a cleaned-up life before entering. I needed the smallest invitation, and the moment your heart cracked open even slightly, I stepped in with all of heaven behind me. I walked into your inner chaos and whispered, "I'm not leaving." And I haven't. Through every storm, setback, betrayal, breakdown, I stayed. I didn't build a place to visit. I made a home. I colored your inner world with mercy. I furnished every room with grace. I put curtains of compassion over windows shame tried to shut, and I locked the door from the inside. When you wept alone, I felt the tears from within your chest. When joy surprised you, it was my joy rising inside you. When you stood back up after falling, that strength was me resurrecting you from the inside out. You searched the sky for signs, but I've been whispering from within. You don't have to reach far, just breathe. I'm already here. I never left. I don't abandon what I inhabit, and I inhabit you. My spirit sealed your heart, my presence sealed your story. So walk forward, not as someone accompanied from the outside, but as someone transformed by the one living inside. You are my sanctuary. Every heartbeat is my reminder to you. I'm not just beside you, I'm within you, and I'm not going anywhere. And now, beloved, help me reach another heart, another soul longing for the same reassurance you just received. When you sow into this ministry, you're not funding content. You're lighting a lantern for someone wandering in the dark. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Let your giving become a lighthouse of hope. Whether it's through super thanks, membership, or the link in the description, when you sow into this word, I will water your life with wonder. Obey quickly and watch heaven respond swiftly. And if you know I've been beside you and now within you, don't stay silent. Declare it below. I know you're with me, Lord, and I won't walk alone again. Let the enemy hear it. Let heaven witness it. Let your heart believe it. If even one sentence touched the ache in your spirit, speak it. Testify. This moment is holy. This is where you finally say, you never left. I see you here. Don't scroll past the moment I arranged to wake you up. Mark it with your voice. Now breathe again. Drop the rushing thoughts. Stop rehearsing the list. Bills, deadlines, arguments happening in your head. For a moment, be still. I'm not asking you to fix anything. I'm asking you to breathe. In that small pause between inhale and exhale, you'll find me. You've imagined me as a distant king, too occupied with galaxies to see the trembling of your hands or the knot in your stomach. But that's not who I am. I am the atmosphere around you, the breath inside you, the peace brushing against your chest. Sometimes you feel watched over when no one is there. That's me. I see the pressure on your job, the tension in your family, the fear when you think about the future. You've been looking for a clear sign that I'm still here. This moment is the sign. This message is the sign. This appointment is divine. I scheduled it long before the moment arrived. I am beside you. I am within you. Let the tightness in your chest loosen. You're tired, deep tired. The kind sleep doesn't cure. You're wearing a smile the world believes, but I see the heart shaking behind it. And I hold it gently. I always have. The heaviness you've been carrying, the one you keep tucked behind your smile at work and hidden from your friends and even the people closest to you. I've been carrying it with you this whole time. You felt as though the weight rested entirely on your own shoulders. But my strength has been woven into yours, holding you up in the moments you were sure you would fall apart. I know the thoughts that steal your sleep, the ones that wake you long before dawn. I sit with you in the dark when the rest of the world is silent, but your mind refuses to quiet down. I hear you replaying conversations, wishing you had handled them differently. I am beside you as you stare at the ceiling, overwhelmed by the unknowns ahead, the worries over money, over a loved one's health, over the future of your children. In those lonely early hours, when you feel cut off from everyone, my presence is the steady calm in the room. It is my peace that finally lets you drift into restless sleep. And those tears, the ones that fall silently in the shower where you hope the rushing water hides your sobs, the ones that slide down your cheeks in the car when a song catches you off guard. I catch every single one. None have fallen unnoticed. Each one is a prayer I treasure. You have taken on the role of the strong one, the steady one, the one people rely on. Yet when you ask yourself where you can lean, the answer feels painfully unclear. You've tried carrying the load as your own rock, forgetting that I am the rock beneath you. My child, you can come to me exactly as you are. You don't have to perform, don't have to hold yourself together. I won't be disappointed or surprised by your vulnerability. Let yourself fall apart in my presence, and I will hold every piece until you're ready for me to rebuild you stronger than before. The exhaustion you're feeling goes beyond your body. It is the spiritual fatigue of trying to manage every outcome, fix every situation, and carry responsibilities you were never created to bear. I am your rest. So right now, release what you were never meant to carry alone. Picture that constant fear about your future as a heavy stone. Hand it to me. Picture the relationship that aches like tangled chains. Give them to me, one at a time. You were not built to hold all of this. Let me take it. Let me bring you into rest. I know you feel lost sometimes, standing at a crossroads with no clear direction, afraid that one wrong step could ruin everything. Voices around you shout instructions, but they only add to the confusion. Quiet your heart for a moment. Feel for my presence guiding you. My guidance isn't a shove, but a soft, steady nudge, that quiet knowing inside you that whispers, "Here, this way." I don't always remove the mountain in front of you. Sometimes I allow it so you can learn to climb, because the strength you gain now will become essential later. But I promise you this, I always create a path through it. I never allow a trial without also placing within you the grace and strategy to overcome it. You have never, not once, faced anything alone. Look back for a moment. Think of the doors that closed unexpectedly, the opportunities that slipped away, the relationships that ended before you understood why. You mourned those moments as failures, as rejections. But my precious one, those weren't punishments. They were protections. I blocked paths that would have led you toward heartbreak, toward danger, toward dead ends you couldn't see. I have always been guiding you away from what would have stolen your purpose. Pay attention to the gentle nudges in your spirit, the sudden hesitation before responding in anger, the unexplainable urge to change your usual routine, the instinct to trust someone when logic argues otherwise. That is my wisdom within you, steering you through a complicated world. And know this, my grip on you is steady and unbreakable. Even when you resist me, even when frustration pushes you to pull away, I do not let go. When you walk through your darkest valleys, grief, illness, betrayal, fear, I am closer than your breath. You may not see me in the shadows, but that's only because my nearness covers you completely. Feel my hand holding yours. I know the path through every darkness you face. Your world is unbearably loud. The voices of fear, worry, and comparison come from everywhere, from the news, from other people, from your own thoughts. But the harshest voice often comes from inside your heart, whispering lies that you aren't enough. In the middle of this noise, you must learn to recognize my whisper. I do not shout, I do not argue with the chaos. My voice is the gentle stillness that speaks straight to your soul. To hear me, you must choose to turn down the world's volume. My voice brings clarity where there was confusion, calm where there was turmoil. You have been wrestling with a decision, turning it over until your mind is exhausted. Stop now. Breathe. Listen. My path for you will always lead to peace. You've listened to the world for so long that you've started believing its harsh critiques. It tells you your value is in what you accomplish, how you look, how successful you appear. It reminds you of your flaws and failures. But listen to the truth I speak. I was there when you were formed. I crafted every detail of you with intention. You are my masterpiece. The truths I speak silence the lies that have been echoing inside you. You are not forgotten. You are not defined by your worst moments. You are my beloved child, and you bring me joy. Hold this truth like an anchor in the storm. When anxiety crashes like waves and fear roars like wind, my whisper is what keeps you steady. Be still now. Stop the constant striving. Stop the frantic worrying. Know deep in your bones that I am God, and my voice is the anchor your soul has been longing for. I have heard every desperate whisper you've spoken in the dark. The moments you said, I can't do this anymore. I don't have anything left. I have been waiting for you here, where your strength ends. What feels like your breaking point is the doorway to my breakthrough. Your surrender is not failure. It is the beginning of your victory. You've spent so much energy hiding your weakness, believing it is something to be ashamed of. But your weakness doesn't push me away. It pulls me toward you. It creates the space for my power to fill your life. A heart full of its own strength has no room for mine. But your emptiness, your tiredness, your limits create the perfect place for my strength to shine. You're right that you can't keep going on your own, so stop trying to. Let me carry you. Picture my arms lifting you out of the heaviness that has clung to you for so long. The road ahead will not be walked in your own strength, but in the power of my embrace. My power is most visible in your most fragile moments. When everyone, including you, knows that the victory was impossible without me, my glory shines through you. You are not failing, you are being remade. You were never created to be self-sufficient. You were designed for complete dependence on me. And in that dependence, you will find a strength you didn't know was possible. The same power that formed galaxies, that raised Jesus from the dead, that power lives in you. It is your inheritance. Stop staring at your empty hands. Look at the limitless strength I've already placed within your spirit. Pause now. I feel your heart wanting to turn away, thinking you've heard enough for today. But to walk away now would mean acknowledging your need and then stepping back into the struggle without the strength I am offering you. Don't choose to stay weary when I am right here, arms open. Stay with me. There is more you need to hear. I have heard every prayer, every whispered plea, every tearful request. Not one has vanished. I remember the prayers you prayed as a child, the ones you prayed through brokenness, and the one you prayed minutes ago. None have been forgotten. Even the prayers you think went unanswered are being woven into a story far more beautiful than the one you imagined. When you prayed for a door to open and it stayed shut, I was protecting you. When you prayed for a trial to end and it continued, I was shaping you through it. I hear the prayers you don't have words for, the ache, the longing, the groans of your heart. My spirit interprets them perfectly. My answers come from love. Sometimes I say wait. Sometimes I say no because something better is coming. Sometimes I whisper yes in a way you only recognize later. Keep praying. Your persistence moves my heart. It tells me you trust who I am, your Father who gives good gifts. Do not stop asking. Breakthrough is closer than you think. I see how hard you try, constantly measuring your worth, constantly wondering if you've done enough. You fall into bed weighed down not just by your day, but by your attempts to earn my approval. Hear me clearly. You can stop. I don't love you because you perform well. You cannot earn my love, and you cannot lose it. Like the sun shines simply because it is its nature, I love simply because it is mine. I was with you in the moment you are most ashamed of. The one that still haunts you. I did not turn away. I held out my arms for you even then. I loved you at your absolute worst, just as fully as I love you now. My affection for you is already complete. Stop striving. Stop trying to prove your worth. It was settled at the cross, paid in full. You wake up each morning with fresh mercy, not yesterday's failures. My forgiveness doesn't run dry. Come to me as you are, not as you think you should be. I don't want your polished mask. I want the real you. My love is not a prize for the perfect. It is a lifeline for the overwhelmed. Take hold. I will never let you go. You've sensed it. The heaviness that comes from nowhere, the sharp discouragement, the sudden conflict erupting in your home. These aren't coincidences. You are living in a spiritual battle between light and darkness. But hear this, you do not fight for victory. You fight from one already won. I go ahead of you, dismantling attacks you never even realized were forming. I walk behind you, shielding you from the weight of your past. Every near miss in your life, every temptation you suddenly resisted, every moment where disaster was averted, that was me guarding you. What you called luck was my protection. Fear is the enemy's loudest weapon. He paints a future without my presence, hoping you will crumble. But my love is not weak. It is a fierce force that exposes his lies and pushes them back. You carry my authority. The name of Jesus is not a superstition. It is the name above all names. When you use it, heaven backs you. All darkness trembles when you remember who you are. Rest now, warrior. Nothing can reach you without passing through my sovereign hands. The enemy may scheme, but I hold the leash. Now let us talk about your wounds. The betrayal that broke your trust, the loss that left emptiness, the failure that drenched you in shame. I am not asking you to pretend those things didn't hurt. They were real, and I was with you in every painful moment. But now give those wounds to me. I am the God who turns broken things into treasures. I do not waste pain. Every tear has soaked the soil of your heart, preparing it for what is coming. Every trial has shaped compassion and strength in you that comfort could never produce. You see a story marked by tragedy. I see the setup for your comeback. Your pain was never punishment, it was preparation. I allowed the fire not to destroy you, but to refine you, clearing away what was holding you back so you could rise into the purpose you were created for. And here's the beauty. The very wound you've tried so hard to hide will one day be the story that brings freedom to others. Your scars are not evidence of failure. They are evidence of survival, proof that darkness tried and failed to break you. Look again through my eyes. Your scars shine with the light of redemption. Look at the world. Everything around you changes constantly. The news shifts by the hour. Finances rise and fall. Relationships wobble. Even your own emotions feel unpredictable. Trying to stand steady in a world like this is exhausting. But listen, I am your constant. I do not change. My love for you does not fluctuate. My promises have no expiration date. Feelings may shift like the weather, but my truth remains firm. Do not build your life on unstable emotions. Build it on my promises. When fear rises, remember I am with you. When you feel weak, remember my grace is enough. When storms rage, anchor yourself to me. The waves will crash, but you will not be swept away. Much of your anxiety comes from trying to control what was never yours to control. You cannot control tomorrow. You cannot control other people. You were never meant to. You were created to trust me. And I am holding you now and always. You're trying so hard to manage every outcome, and this constant effort is draining your mind, your body, and your spirit. I'm inviting you to loosen your grip. Open your hands, literally. Release the tension you've been carrying, the control you've been clinging to, and rest in the one who holds the entire universe, including your life, in the palm of his hand. I'm offering you a peace the world cannot give. Not the peace that comes from having no problems, but the peace that comes from knowing I am with you in the middle of them. Your security does not come from your bank account, your achievements, or even your physical health. Those can change in an instant. Your true lasting security comes from my faithfulness. My commitment to you is not tied to the shifting circumstances of your life. My covenant with you cannot be broken. Anchor yourself in me. I am your safe harbor in every storm. My beloved, the peace I'm offering you is real, but I can feel the noise of the world tugging at your attention. If you turn back now, you'll be stepping out of this sacred stillness and back into the chaos that exhausts your soul. It would grieve me to see you choose turmoil after we've traveled this far together. Let me finish the work I've begun in your heart. You measure your life by visible accomplishments, promotions, achievements, and successes others can notice. Because those moments feel rare, you often think you're failing, but you're looking at the wrong things. I see what no one else sees. Heaven rejoices over victories that happen quietly inside your heart. I saw when someone's words wounded you. Your instinct was to lash out, defend yourself, or hurt them in return, but you didn't. You took a breath, stayed silent, and chose grace. That was a victory that echoed through heaven. I saw you last night when you were tired, tempted to numb yourself with mindless distraction, but instead you opened my word, if only for a few minutes, because you wanted my truth to reach your heart. That was a victory. When you woke in the night, overwhelmed with fear, and whispered, "I trust you, Lord," even with your heart racing, that moment was more significant than any business deal or earthly success. Every act of quiet obedience shakes the spiritual realm. The apology you offered even though pride resisted it. The generosity you extended when you felt you had so little. The prayer you whispered for someone who hurt you instead of replaying the offense. If you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive, and if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. These are not small victories to me. They are beautiful offerings that show where your heart truly belongs. Don't dismiss your progress just because it's slow or unseen. You are not who you were last year or even last month. I see the inner mountains you're moving, one small act of faith at a time. And I am so proud of you. I delight in you, not just in what you do, but in who you are becoming. I see your desire to honor me, even when you stumble. That desire itself is a fragrant offering, something that sets you apart from a world that rarely considers me. Stop magnifying your failures. Celebrate the victories we share together. My kingdom is built not on a few grand gestures, but on countless small choices of faithfulness. And there is another victory waiting for you right now. You look across your life and feel a deep ache. You see empty spaces, missed seasons, opportunities that slipped away. You see the years the locusts have eaten, years lost to fear, confusion, unhealthy relationships, draining jobs, addictions, grief, or simply feeling stuck. You mourn who you could have been if life had gone differently. You see brokenness and assume it's permanent. But you're looking through human eyes. I am the God who restores. My nature is to redeem and make new. I'm not only promising you a better future, I'm promising to restore the value of what was lost. I will bring a harvest so abundant, a joy so deep, and a wisdom so rich that it will more than outweigh every painful year. The lessons you learn through suffering will become your greatest strengths. What felt wasted was actually preparation, and the return will be far greater than you imagine. I see the relationships that weigh on your heart, the silence between you and someone you love, the friendship broken by betrayal, the distance with your child. You long for healing and wonder if reconciliation is even possible. Hear me. I will never force another person's free will, but I am still the God of miracles. I can soften hardened hearts. I can uncover truth. I can orchestrate moments of connection in ways you cannot plan. But even more importantly, I can heal your heart regardless of what they choose. I can restore you so deeply that their lack of apology no longer controls your peace. I can fill every void until you are whole again. And for the hope you've lost, yes, I see that too. You remember what it felt like to dream, but now that place in your heart feels empty and cold. You're afraid to hope again because you don't want to be disappointed. But you forget who I am. I am the God of resurrection. I specialize in rolling stones away from sealed tombs. Even now, as you listen, I am breathing life into dreams you thought were dead. What you see as shattered pieces, I gather with care. I am the master artist, and I am restoring your life, not with cheap glue, but with gold. Your healed places will shine brighter than before. The enemy steals, kills, and destroys, but my power is to create, redeem, and restore. His destruction is temporary, my restoration is eternal. Just as I restore you, I'm inviting you to join me in restoring someone else. When you give, you are planting a seed of faith into the life of someone who feels hopeless. Your support becomes a stream of living water for a heart lost in drought, a declaration that restoration is possible. I have said, the one who sows bountifully will reap bountifully. As you give, I will speak restoration over your own life. Sow your seed through super thanks, membership, or the link below, and watch what I do. You're trying hard to find your way, but everything feels foggy. You can't see the path ahead, and you fear taking a wrong step. The world is shouting its opinions. Choose this path, buy this thing, follow this trend. But the noise only increases your confusion. You long for clarity, for light. I've already given it to you. My word is not just a book, it is a lamp for your feet and a light for your path. It does not reveal the whole journey at once. That would remove the need for faith, but it always reveals your next step. You've been worrying about the destination before even taking the first step. Quiet your mind. Open my word. Look only for the next small direction. Take that step, and the light will move with you. You've tried self-help, podcasts, endless scrolling, searching for formulas to fix your heart and calm your fears. But the answers you're chasing are found right here in my scriptures. This is my love letter to you. Need wisdom for finances? It's here. Guidance for relationships? It's here. Comfort for grief, strength for battles, hope for the future? All here. Your mind absorbs whatever you feed it. If you fill it with fear, comparison, and chaos, your soul will be flooded with anxiety. Immerse yourself in my truth instead. When your mind is full of my word, the enemy's lies have no place to land. My promises are not for others, they are for you. They are checks written from heaven's abundance, stamped with your name, paid for by the blood of my Son. Speak them over your fears. Reflect on them slowly. Let them sink from your head to your heart. If you do, my word will reshape you from the inside out. Much of your daily struggle comes from one deep lie: that you're alone and must fight for everything. You've lived with an orphan spirit, always striving, always afraid resources will run out, always carrying a loneliness beneath the surface. But listen, the moment you put your faith in my Son, an eternal legal transaction took place. You were adopted into my family, not temporarily, but forever. You are not a guest, not a servant, not a distant relative. You are my child, my own, a royal child of the Most High. This isn't a metaphor, it's your truest identity. Adoption means you are never abandoned again. You have a permanent place at my table. My spirit lives inside you as a guarantee of your inheritance. When you walk into a room, the atmosphere shifts because my presence goes with you. I know the word father may bring pain. Perhaps your earthly father was absent, harsh, or simply unable to love the way you needed. You've carried that wound, and you've assumed I'm the same. Let me heal that wound. I am the perfect father, always present, always watchful, always proud of you. I protect you fiercely. I provide for you faithfully. Let me be the father your heart has always longed for. Your inheritance isn't something the world can take away. It's eternal joy, peace, purpose, and my nearness. So stop living like an orphan. Stop striving. Stop worrying about provision. Walk with the confidence of your true identity. You are my child. You are home. I see where you are right now. Life feels like a wilderness, dry, empty, and directionless. Your career feels stagnant. Your relationships feel strained. Your spirit feels cracked and thirsty. You look at your future and see only uncertainty, like a vast desert stretching out endlessly. You feel forgotten. But I want you to know I do my best work in the wilderness. This is my workshop. While you see a barren desert, I am preparing hidden rivers. Where you see chaos, I am building a pathway. You may not see the road, but I've already drawn the map from this moment to eternity. This season is not punishment. It's preparation. I'm removing what can't go with you. I'm shaping your character. Beneath the surface, I'm cultivating the richest soil of your life. Do not despise this season, and do not fear your needs. Did I not feed my people with manna every morning? Did I not bring water from a rock? I will provide everything you need today. Not next week, today. Gather today's manna and trust me with tomorrow. Beware the temptation to look back. The enemy will make the past seem easier simply because it was familiar. Do not turn back. I'm doing something new. This journey has one purpose: to teach you to rely on me alone. In the wilderness, your strength fails, your plans crumble, and you finally discover that I am all you truly need. And that is the treasure of this season. I have promised you a way through this wilderness, and hopelessness is whispering lies that you're too lost. Do not disconnect from me now. It would grieve me to see you wander when I am here, ready to lead you into promise. Stay close. Let's talk about the person who hurt you. You try to move on, but you're dragging a chain behind you, tied to them and to the moment of pain. You think your anger is punishing them, but it's only imprisoning you. Bitterness is a poison you drink, hoping they'll suffer. Each time you replay the hurt, you reopen the wound. They occupy space in your heart they do not deserve. It's time to let them go. Look at the debt you owed me, an infinite debt you could never repay. Yet I canceled it completely through the cross. Now you're holding on to a much smaller debt someone owes you, refusing to release them. For your own freedom, forgive them the way I forgave you. Forgiveness isn't a gift for them. It's freedom for you. It unlocks your prison. It doesn't excuse their actions or require reconciliation. It means placing them in my hands, the only just judge, and choosing to walk free. You say, but you don't understand how deeply they hurt me. It's unforgivable. In your strength, you're right. It is impossible. But forgiveness is supernatural, and I will give you the strength to do it. It's a decision made once and then lived out repeatedly with my help. As long as you cling to unforgiveness, the wound cannot heal. Release them, and my healing can finally flow. Remember the ocean of grace I've poured over you. From that ocean, offer one cup to the one who hurt you. That is your path to freedom. This world feels so real and permanent. The joys, the pains, the routines. You've tried to build security on its shifting ground to find belonging here. Yet deep inside, you felt it. A quiet ache, a sense that you don't fully fit. a homesickness for a place you've never seen but somehow know. That longing isn't a flaw, it's a reminder of who you truly are. You were made for another world. You are a citizen of heaven on a temporary assignment here. Don't settle too comfortably in a place that is not your final home. This world is not your home, and I did not design your eternal spirit to settle in a place that is temporary and fading. I shaped this life as a passage, a brief journey meant to lead you back to me. I need you to truly grasp this eternal perspective, because it will change how you see your struggles right now. That issue at work that keeps you up at night, that feels like a mountain pressing down on your chest. One day, 10,000 years from now, when you stand with me in glory, you will look back and see what it really was. A pebble on your path, a short trial I used to shape you. What feels heavy today is light in my eyes, not because your pain is small, but because the glory being formed in you is so much greater. Every hardship you endure with faith is building a character that will echo into eternity. I am calling you to live like someone who understands eternity, to invest like someone who knows what lasts. You can pour all your strength into things that rust, fade, break, get stolen, or disappear the moment you take your last breath. Or you can invest in what never dies: love, grace, truth, and human hearts. Every kind action, every moment of forgiveness, every second you spend with me becomes treasure stored where it can never be lost. This world is not your final destination. It is the training ground where you learn faith and grace. It is the gym where your spiritual muscles grow through pressure and resistance. You are in training for a future far greater than you can imagine. I am preparing your true home, the one where every tear is wiped away, where pain and striving never return. Let this promised home be the fuel that carries you through the difficult days on earth. You are not wandering. You are on your way home. There is a kind of pain that cuts so deeply it steals your breath. The pain of being misunderstood. The pain of hearing your character twisted, your motives doubted, or your name spoken falsely. It makes you want to fight back, defend yourself, gather evidence, and prove your innocence to anyone who will listen. You fear if you don't defend yourself, no one will, and the lies will stand. But today, I am asking you to do something harder than defending your name. I am asking you to be still and let me defend you. I am your advocate, your heavenly defender, and when you are falsely accused, I take up your case. I know the whole story, the context, the truth, the intent of your heart. Even when your actions were imperfect, I see the truth clearly. I have never lost a case entrusted fully to me. When you try to defend yourself, you often speak from pain or anger, and the situation grows messier. You end up sounding defensive, and your efforts to control the story often work against you. I am asking you to place your reputation in my hands. It is safer there than in yours. My timing is flawless, and my ways are far above your own. I know you also long for justice. You want those who hurt you to be held accountable. That is why I have told you, vengeance is mine. This is not about petty punishment. It is a promise of perfect justice. You don't have to carry the crushing weight of being judge and jury. Release that burden to me. I see everything, and I will balance the scales. The accuser whispers constantly, repeating your failures and echoing the accusations of others. But there is a louder voice, the voice of the blood of my Son, Jesus. His blood speaks a better word over you. It speaks of righteousness, not failure, forgiveness, not guilt. This is the final word that silences every accusation. So rest. Stop replaying your defense. Stop worrying about opinions. Your vindication comes from me alone. When the time is right, I will reveal the truth and restore your name. Your role is not to fight for your image, it is to stay close to me. You have spent so much time chasing happiness, and it has left you worn out and empty. You've searched for it in circumstances, achievements, relationships, and possessions, only to discover how quickly it disappears. When life rises, you feel happy. When difficulties come, happiness evaporates. I am not offering you something so fragile. I am offering you my joy, something deeper, stronger, and unshakably rooted in my presence within you. Happiness comes from what happens around you. Joy comes from what I am doing within you. Joy is the confidence that I am with you, that I love you, and that I am in control, even when chaos surrounds you. The world thinks joy is simply the absence of pain, but my joy is my presence right in the middle of your pain. It lets you grieve deeply, yet still hold an unshakable hope. It lets you cry through the night, knowing joy will come in the morning. A heart weighed down by fear and sorrow can weaken your whole body. But I have said that a joyful heart is good medicine. It can bring healing to your mind and body. Joy is a choice, not a reaction. It is an act of spiritual warfare. When darkness presses in and you choose to thank me, to praise me even through tears, you are pushing back the darkness. Your worship shifts the atmosphere within your home and your heart. Praise silences the enemy and invites my power. My joy is your strength. It is the supernatural power that helps you continue when your own strength runs out. Stop waiting for circumstances to improve before you choose joy. Choose it now and watch what happens within you. You trusted me with the biggest thing, your eternity. At some point, you placed your faith in Jesus and believed that when your life ends, you will be with me. But even after trusting me with your eternity, you wake up each day and take the burden of control back into your own hands. You trust me with the next life, but struggle to trust me with your finances, your children, your relationships, and the day right in front of you. This divided trust is what fuels your anxiety. I am calling you into deeper trust, moment by moment, not just belief in your mind, but belief lived out in your actions. Real faith behaves as if my promises are actually true. If you believe I am your shepherd, you will live with peace. If you believe I am your provider, you will live with generosity instead of fear. Your behavior reveals your trust level. You long to understand everything before taking a step. You want the full map, the full explanation, the full guarantee. But that is not trust. That is a demand for control. My thoughts are higher than yours. I am asking you to let go of your need to understand and rest in the one who understands everything. Trusting me does not mean knowing every answer. It means knowing the one who is the answer. Picture your life. You are sitting in a boat that feels familiar, predictable, and safe. But I am not in the boat. I am standing on the water. The storm is swirling, yet I am steady, and I am calling your name. I am inviting you to step out of the boat of self-reliance and walk toward me on the water of trust. It feels risky, but the boat is where you remain safe and stagnant. The water is where miracles happen. The depth of your peace will always match the depth of your trust. Little trust produces little peace. If you want the peace that surpasses human understanding, you must develop a trust that surpasses human logic. It comes down to one question. Do you believe I am good, even when your situation doesn't look good? I am calling you to radical trust, the kind that brings true freedom. I have called you onto the water, and I see your hesitation. The world calls you back to the false safety of the boat. To step away now is to choose fear over faith. Stay focused on me. There is more. Do you ever feel small or unimportant? Do you see the world's billions and wonder if your life matters? Do you feel like a face in the crowd, a coincidence of biology? That is a lie meant to paralyze you. You are not an accident. You are my workmanship, my poem, my masterpiece, a one-of-a-kind creation. Before the universe existed, I designed you with intention. I did not mass-produce you. I crafted you personally, your personality, passions, gifts, and even your weaknesses. Every detail is purposeful. The way you bring order to chaos, the way you listen with compassion, the way you create beauty, the way you solve problems. These are not random abilities. They are tools I placed in you for kingdom work that only you can do. The greatest enemy of your purpose is comparison. You look at someone else's calling or platform and feel small. Stop comparing. The body needs the eye, but it also needs the hidden organs that work quietly yet keep everything alive. Embrace the unique path I made for you. Your life is a masterpiece, still being painted. Some seasons look messy, like strokes on a canvas that make no sense yet. Some seasons feel like fire, pressure, or pruning. But do not judge the final masterpiece by the unfinished process. Trust the artist. The world tells you your joy comes from comfort, possessions, or experiences. But the deepest joy you will ever know comes from fulfilling the purpose I created you for. When you use your unique gifts to do what I planned for you long ago, your spirit comes alive. Step into your calling. The world needs the gift that only you carry. There are moments when grief, confusion, or exhaustion is so overwhelming that you cannot pray. You kneel, but no words come. Your mind is blank, your heart is numb, and silence is all you can offer. Then guilt rushes in. Guilt that you cannot even speak to me. But here's the mystery. In those moments, you are not failing. You are praying more deeply than you realize. Because when your words stop, my spirit begins. He knows your pain, your confusion, your weariness. He takes the unspoken groans of your heart and turns them into perfect prayers. Even when you are silent, your spirit is speaking through him. You are never without a voice in heaven. You are not alone, not for a moment. My spirit is with you, your counselor, whispering wisdom when you're unsure what to do. Your comforter, wrapping your broken heart in peace. My spirit is my seal on your life, my mark of ownership and protection. He is the guarantee of your future inheritance, the foretaste of what awaits you in eternity. Learn to listen for his gentle nudges, his peace, his warnings, the scripture that suddenly speaks to you. My spirit is not just your comfort, he is your power. He is the strength that helps you resist temptation, the source of your love, joy, and peace, even when life feels anything but peaceful. You are not just a human trying to survive. You are a living temple of the living God, empowered from the inside out. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. You have felt my spirit speak to you through these words, a voice comforting you, especially when you couldn't pray. And now you can help carry that voice to others. The screen you're watching is more than a screen. It's a vessel. Your support is the oil that keeps this light shining in dark places. Your giving helps my voice reach someone who is hurting, someone who can't pray, someone whose spirit is groaning right now. My word never returns empty. It accomplishes exactly what I send it to do. When you give through Super Thanks or membership or the link in the description, you become part of the answer to someone's silent prayer. As you release your offering, I will pour out my spirit over you and your household. Act now and help carry my voice to someone who needs it. Anxiety has followed you like a shadow. It steals your peace, your focus, your sleep. It drags you into a future filled with imagined disasters. It drains today's strength without solving tomorrow's problems. Anxiety is interest paid on a debt you may never owe. It whispers about your health, your family, your finances, leaving you tired and afraid. But you live inside time, only seeing this moment. I do not. I live outside of time. I am already in your tomorrow, your next week, your next year. From that place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, I have already made provision for what you fear. The financial need you dread, I've already arranged the supply. The difficult conversation, I've already prepared the grace you'll need. Worry is useless. It doesn't prevent tomorrow's problems. It only drains today's strength. It is like rocking back and forth endlessly. It exhausts you but takes you nowhere. You cannot add a single hour to your life by worrying. Your anxiety comes from misplaced priorities. You wake up seeking the solutions, the approval, the control. But I give you the one true antidote to anxiety. Seek me first. Before your phone, before your plans, before your problems, seek my presence. Seek my kingdom. Make me your first pursuit. And I give you this promise. If you will simply trust me first, everything else you are carrying in your mind, your worries about food, clothing, finances, and the future, will be taken care of. I never asked you to bear the weight of the next 10 years. I'm not even asking you to carry the weight of tomorrow. I'm asking you to walk faithfully with the grace I've placed in your hands today. My grace is given daily, the way manna fell in the wilderness. It is enough for this very moment. And when tomorrow comes, new grace will be waiting for you like a fresh sunrise. I want you to make a holy exchange. I am offering you my peace, a supernatural peace strong enough to guard your heart and mind. But you cannot receive it if your hands are tightly wrapped around your worries. You must open them. The way you open them is through prayer. Through prayer, through honest supplication, through thanksgiving, you place every specific anxiety into my hands. And in return, I place my peace in your heart. It is the most beautiful exchange in all creation. Make that exchange now. Life feels like a violent sea. Bad news roars at you from screens and conversations. Sudden storms like sickness, lost jobs, or betrayal crash into your life without warning, leaving you drenched in fear and fighting just to stay afloat. You feel like you're being tossed around with no control, desperate for something solid to hold so you won't be swept away. My child, the world offers you weak hopes. It tells you to trust in politicians, in the economy, in new treatments, in human guarantees. But these hopes are thin and fragile, nothing more than optimistic wishes with no firm foundation. They collapse the moment the situation shifts. The hope I give you is nothing like that. My hope is not a feeling. It is a person. It is a solid, steady expectation of my goodness and my faithfulness, based not on ever-changing circumstances, but on my unchanging nature and my promises that cannot be broken. This hope is the anchor of your soul. You don't drop an anchor in calm weather. You throw it down in the storm, when the winds are fierce and the waves are threatening to throw you against the rocks. Its purpose is to hold you steady, and the anchor of hope I give you is connected to you by a chain forged in heaven. Every promise I've ever spoken is another link in that chain, tested, eternal, and unbreakable. Being anchored to me does not mean the storm stops. The winds will still blow. The waves will still rise. You will still feel the shaking of life around you. But though you may be tossed, you will not be destroyed. Though you may be struck, you will not be shattered. You will not be pulled into despair because your anchor is secured to the only immovable one in the universe, me. So be cautious where you place your hope. Your hope cannot rest in circumstances improving. It cannot rest in receiving the answer you want. Your hope must rest in me alone. You must learn to speak to your soul as the psalmist did. Why are you downcast? Why are you disturbed? Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise him, my salvation and my God. I am your salvation. I am your hope. And this hope is unshakable because your future is completely safe in my hands. I have already written the final chapter of your story, and it ends in victory, joy, and unimaginable glory. Because you know the end is good, you can walk through the turbulence of the chapter you're in now. This is not wishful thinking. This is your anchor. Hold tightly. Deep within you is a thirst you've been trying to quench your whole life. It shows up as restlessness, an ache, a sense that no matter what you gain or accomplish, something is still missing. You've tried to satisfy that thirst in relationships, hoping the right person would make you feel whole. You've tried to satisfy it in work, believing the next promotion or accomplishment would finally fill the emptiness. You've tried possessions, entertainment, experiences. Yet every time you drink from these wells, the satisfaction fades quickly. Sometimes you feel even emptier than before. The things of this world cannot satisfy your eternal thirst. They are like salt water, promising relief, but leaving you more drained. Let me reveal the true name of your longing. You are thirsty for me. Your soul was designed by me and for me. Just as your body requires water, your spirit requires its source, me. You will never know lasting peace, identity, or fulfillment until you drink deeply of my presence. I am the fountain of living water, not a pond that can run dry, not a puddle that disappears in heat, but an endless spring of life, love, peace, and joy. And I promise you this, whoever comes to me will never thirst again. The deep thirst for meaning, love, acceptance, and peace will finally be satisfied at its core. For too long, you've been digging your own broken wells, your job, the approval of others, your own strength, your own efforts. No matter how hard you work, they always leak empty. I am calling you to stop. I am offering the simplest yet most profound invitation. Come to me. All who are thirsty. You don't need money. You don't need to prove your worthiness. It is a gift of grace. Your only requirement is to admit your thirst. Come with humility and drink. And when you do, something miraculous happens. I place the fountain inside of you. My spirit becomes a river flowing from the core of your being. Not only will you be satisfied, you will become a source of life for others. Drink deeply today. The world will try to convince you this satisfaction is not real. But to turn away now would be choosing to remain thirsty while standing in front of the fountain itself. Let me satisfy you fully. When you hear my commands in Scripture, something inside you often resists. You interpret them as restrictions, as rules meant to limit your freedom or your happiness. But my child, you have misunderstood my heart. My commands are not cages. They are guardrails. Loving warnings from a father who sees dangers you cannot. When I tell you to forgive, it's to protect you from bitterness. When I tell you to be generous, It's to free you from greed. My commands are not designed to take life from you. They are designed to give you life in abundance. In my kingdom, obedience is the language of love. Your songs of worship are precious, but your obedience speaks even louder. When you obey even when it's hard, even when you don't understand, you declare to all of heaven and hell, I trust my Father. His ways are better than mine. You've been trying to negotiate your surrender, offering me the areas that don't cost you much, while guarding the ones that feel too difficult. Your finances, your habits, your forgiveness. But hear me clearly. Partial obedience is disobedience. It is choosing to sit on the throne of your life while asking me to bless decisions I never approved. This divided heart will leave you exhausted and powerless. You cannot hold on to rebellion and still experience my peace. The smallest act of obedience can open the floodgates of my power. Remember the servants at Cana? They obeyed a simple instruction. Fill the jars with water. It made no sense, but their obedience activated the miracle. I am often waiting for your obedience so I can release what I've prepared for you. The breakthrough you've been pleading for is on the other side of the very step you are resisting. Your blessing is attached to your obedience. Quiet your heart. Listen for my instruction. It will always align with my word. When you hear it, follow quickly. Do not delay. Do not argue. Your greatest joy is waiting on the path of trust and obedience. Look at the world, my child. You don't need spiritual insight to see the darkness. It is the darkness of fear filling every headline, the darkness of division ripping apart relationships, the darkness of hopelessness weighing down hearts that believe there is no purpose or escape. Into that darkness I placed you. I lit a flame inside you. I positioned you in this time and place to shine. You are my child, born of light, and I created you to glow with my presence. You were never meant to blend into the shadows, to hide your faith, soften your convictions, or silence your hope so others feel comfortable. You were meant to stand out, to shine so brightly that darkness cannot stay. But you've been hiding your light. Fear has convinced you to place a basket over the flame I gave you. You worry what coworkers might think if they knew your faith is real. You fear being mocked by friends or misunderstood by family. You fear labels, rejection, or being canceled. So you dim yourself. You stay quiet when I nudge you to speak encouragement. You conceal your joy so you don't make others uncomfortable. You shine inside the church but hide when you step into the world. With the full authority of heaven, I say, remove the basket. The light in you is not just for you. It is a beacon for the lost, a lighthouse for the hurting. Your life is a letter written by my hand. People may dismiss arguments about my existence, but they cannot ignore a life transformed by my presence. Your peace under pressure, your forgiveness after deep hurt, your hope in heartbreak. These are living testimonies that preach louder than words. You carry the hope the world is starving for. People are searching everywhere, philosophy, pleasure, distraction, and they remain empty. You know where the living water is. Do not withhold it because of fear. Be bold. Be courageous. Let your light shine. Let your integrity, kindness, generosity, and humility reveal me. You will not do this by your own strength. I go with you. My light in you is stronger than all darkness combined. Feel the tension in your shoulders, the knot in your stomach, the tightness of worry you carry. It's the weight of concerns about your child's choices, the burden of a secret struggle you're afraid to share. The pressure of finances that never seem to stretch far enough. You've been carrying these weights from morning to night, so familiar that you barely recognize them anymore. But they are draining you. In my word, I give you a command wrapped in invitation. Cast your cares on me. Focus on the word cast. It does not mean gently placing something down. It means to throw, to hurl something away from yourself with force. It is a deliberate act of trust and humility. It is the moment you admit, God, I can't hold this anymore. It's too heavy. And you give it to me because you believe I am strong enough. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking more about my strength than your own. You hesitate to bring me small concerns, thinking I'm too occupied with the universe to care about your commute, your argument, or your frustrations. You think I only focus on your emergencies. My child, nothing in your life is too small for my attention. If it weighs on your mind, it matters to mine. I am the God of galaxies, and I am the God of details. You are carrying the weight of your world, your family's emotions, your regrets, your fears. Only I can carry all of that. Give me the globe of your worries. It was never meant to sit on your shoulders, and when you cast your cares on me, I do not leave you empty. I fill the space with my peace. You cannot hold both worry and peace at the same time. You must release one to receive the other. I take your burden and I give you rest. And why do I do this? Because I care for you. Not in a distant or general way. I care with deep personal tenderness. Your pain moves me. Your struggles touch my heart. Let me be your father. Let me lift what is crushing you. Throw it onto me and feel the freedom of being fully cared for. Now pause and listen to the thoughts you usually speak to yourself. Hear the inner voice that whispers, I'm a failure. I never get it right. I'm disappointing. If people truly knew me, they wouldn't love me. This constant inner criticism has become the soundtrack of your mind, and you've mistaken it for truth. Let me silence that voice and tell you what I think about you. My prophet wrote that my thoughts about you outnumber the grains of sand on the entire earth. Picture a handful of sand, thousands of grains. Then imagine all the sand on all the beaches and deserts on the planet. My thoughts of love toward you are more than that. You are never off my mind. From the moment you wake until you fall asleep, and every moment in between, my thoughts surround you like a shield. And what are these thoughts? Thoughts of peace, not harm. Thoughts of hope, not despair. When I think of you, I am not focused on your failures. I am planning your victories. I am not rehearsing your sins. I am celebrating your identity as my forgiven, beloved, righteous child. I am constantly thinking of ways to bless you, guide you, protect you, and show you new depths of my love. And this love for you did not begin recently. It is eternal. Before anyone dreamed of your existence, before your parents even imagined you, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I already knew you. I saw every day of your life long before the first one arrived. I set you apart, and I called you by name. You were never an accident. You were the joyful intention of my heart, created with purpose and delight. Every day, two voices fight for space in your heart. One is the accuser, the enemy, whispering lies about your flaws, your guilt, and your failures. The other voice is mine, the voice of your Father, speaking truth about who you really are, the value you carry, and the future I designed for you. You get to choose which voice you replay in your mind. Today I urge you, stop giving power to the accuser's lies. Let my affirmations fill your thoughts instead. And here's the one I want you to hold tightly right now. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are not an error. You are not a burden. You are a masterpiece still unfolding. I rejoice over you. I delight in you. I see you clothed in the beauty of my Son's righteousness, not through the lens of your imperfections. Let this truth settle from your mind into your heart, and let it silence every lie that has tried to define you. You've been treating your faith like a short sprint, a burst of excitement, a push for perfection, and then exhaustion, falling to the side feeling defeated. But my child, you're running the wrong way for the wrong kind of race. Your life is a marathon, not a dash. It demands patience, steady endurance, and resilience, not brief explosions of energy. The goal isn't to outrun others, it's simply to finish well. And the course I designed for you is uniquely yours. But one of the biggest obstacles you face is comparison. You watch the people in the lanes beside you. You compare your pace, your struggles, your hills, your obstacles with their seemingly easy path. This comparison only drains you. It steals your joy and causes you to stumble. Today I tell you, take your eyes off their race. Look at the path I crafted specifically for you. Run your race, no one else's. To run well, you must travel light. My word tells you to remove two things that slow you down. The first is sin. The obvious things that wrap around your feet and cause you to fall. But there is another category: weight. A weight isn't always sin, but it's something that drains you and slows your pace. The weight of bitterness you've held on to, the weight of constant worry about what's ahead, the weight of caring far too much about what others think. These things aren't worth what they cost you. Lay them aside so you can run with strength. And when you feel exhausted and ready to quit, look toward the finish line. And for you, the finish line is not a place, it is a person. Fix your eyes on Jesus. He is the one who began this race within you, and the one who will give you the strength to finish it. When the race feels painful and overwhelming, remember how he endured the suffering of the cross because he saw the joy of redeeming you. His endurance fuels yours, and you're not running alone in an empty stadium. Heaven is filled with a great cloud of witnesses, every saint, every believer who has run this race before you. They are not sitting quietly. They are standing, cheering your name, knowing the difficulty of the course you're on. You are surrounded, supported, and celebrated. The reward isn't for the one who starts the loudest, but for the one who keeps going to the end. Don't stop. I will supply all the strength you need for every step. You're halfway through your race, and I am the strength that carries you. I feel your exhaustion, the temptation to step off the track and give up. But if you stop listening now, you'll quit when the finish line is nearer than you realize. Don't disappoint the witnesses cheering for you. Don't grieve the Father who is calling you forward with love. Let me breathe new strength into you. Keep listening. You've been carrying the heaviest burden of all, believing you must be perfect to be accepted by me. You've been working endlessly, trying to fix every flaw and fight every weakness on your own. But this only leads to the same cycle: trying, failing, and feeling ashamed. I've come today to break that cycle. You don't need to be perfect. You need to depend on me. Our relationship is not built on your perfection, but on my grace. And grace has two sides. First, it is my undeserved kindness, my decision to love, bless, and claim you even with your imperfections. Not because you've earned it, but because I am gracious. But grace is more than favor. It is power. It is my strength moving into your weakness, enabling you to do what you could never do alone. Here's what that looks like. Grace gives you the ability to forgive someone you couldn't forgive before. Grace lets you remain calm in the middle of storms that used to overwhelm you. Grace helps you love someone you once thought was impossible to love. Grace isn't you trying harder. Grace is you surrendering and letting my power flow through your weakness. And this grace is not small. It is limitless. It covers your past, every mistake erased. It fills your present. It is enough for everything you face today, and it secures your future. It is grace alone that will carry you safely home. You fear your sin is too much, that you finally crossed a line. But listen, wherever sin increases, my grace increases even more. My forgiveness is an ocean, and your failures are a drop. Nothing you've done can outrun my grace. Stop living like you're in a desert trying to survive on a few drops of self-effort. Step beneath the endless waterfall of my grace. Let it wash you, cleanse you, refresh you, restore you. Live freely under it. It will never dry up. My child, you feel stuck. Old habits continue to trip you. Old regrets still chain you to the past. Old thoughts whisper that nothing will ever change. It feels like you are reliving the same day over and over. The enemy wants you to believe your past has already decided your future. But I am the God who makes things new. I speak now to break that lie. Listen closely. I am doing something new. Even now, something fresh is beginning to grow in the dry places of your life. Lift your eyes with expectation. You ask me for new joy, new hope, new beginnings, but you try to pour these new blessings into old mindsets, old habits, old patterns. My child, your old wineskins cannot contain the new wine of my spirit. They will tear. You cannot cling to your old ways and expect a new life. You must release the familiar pain of yesterday to embrace the joy of what I'm creating for your tomorrow. I specialize in new beginnings. When I came into your life, I didn't just forgive your old self. I created someone completely new. The old identity, the old shame, the old failures are gone. In me, everything is becoming new. Every sunrise I paint is a reminder of that. Yesterday closed, today bursting with new mercy and new possibilities. Your life can be renewed daily if you let it. You look backward with regret, but today I tell you, stop looking back. Look forward with hope. Your greatest chapters are ahead. Your happiest days are not behind you. Your biggest victories are still coming. Don't believe the lie that your best is over. With me, the best is always still ahead. You've been abandoned before. People you trusted have walked away. Friends betrayed you. Family misunderstood you. Circumstances shifted, leaving you feeling alone. Deep inside, you fear I will eventually leave too. That you'll make a mistake too big, fail too badly, and I'll finally give up on you. This fear is at the root of your anxiety. But I've come to silence it forever with my covenant promise. I will never leave you or forsake you. This isn't a comforting phrase, it's an unbreakable vow. The mountains could crumble and the hills disappear, but my love and peace towards you will not move. My commitment to you is more permanent than creation itself. Let's talk about the things you fear could separate you from my love. Are you afraid of today's problems or tomorrow's uncertainties? They cannot separate you. I am already in your tomorrow, and I am your strength today. Are you afraid of death? Death has lost its power. It will only usher you into my embrace. Are you afraid of the enemy? He is defeated, disarmed, powerless to sever our bond. Are you afraid of your own failures? Remember, where sin increases, my grace increases even more. Nothing, no force, no fear, no mistake can separate you from my love in Christ Jesus. This is your security. I started the good work in you, and I will complete it. I am not an artist who quits halfway. I am not a writer who abandons a story mid-chapter. I finish what I begin. Your story, with all its ups and downs, is safe in my hands. Even when you feel stuck or moving backward, I am still at work. My promises do not depend on your emotions. They stand firm forever. The question isn't whether my promises will hold. The question is whether you will hold on to them. I'm calling you to hold tight. When loneliness whispers lies, hold on to the truth that I am with you. When shame tries to define you, hold on to the truth that there is no condemnation for those who belong to me. To hold fast means to cling to my words even when life tries to pull them from your grip. I am with you always, to the very end of the age. My presence is not a feeling, it is a reality. Every word I've spoken to you today has been for one purpose: to remind your soul that I am right beside you. I always have been. I always will be. Now that you know this, everything can change. Stop walking like you're alone. Take my hand. Let's move forward together. My child, I've sealed my promise to you. I am right beside you. If this truth anchored your soul today, now is your moment to plant an anchor of hope for someone else. This isn't about money. It's about sending a bold amen back to heaven. A step of faith that turns you into a carrier of my presence to others. Your support becomes a light on a hill, guiding others in their storms. I gave you this message to anchor your soul firm and secure, and I will bless you as you share it. As you release this seed of faith, I will surround you like a wall of fire and fill your life with my glory. Obey this gentle nudge. Give through Super Thanks or membership using the link below and claim this promise as your own. Before this moment fades, I call you to seal this encounter. Let your hands agree with your heart in faith. Go below and write this declaration for heaven and earth to witness. You are standing right beside me. Let this be your public declaration and personal anchor in future storms. Your words of faith please me and push back darkness. Declare it now and make this truth yours. Amen.